actually is or used to be, because it's almost like it's a generational shift where the people who are in charge right now, who are running the show, were the fanboys of the show back during its 10-year renaissance.
Yeah, they were kids watching the show.
Exactly.
And now they're writers for the show.
And so they're inspired because the show's been on for our entire lives, and so now they're like, well, let's do something to
let's do a callback to season 2.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
So they're taking all these tired, like the last episode one of the most recent episodes they did was a complete and total like it was completely meta. It was all about Simpsons, or people who talk about the Simpsons on Reddit. People who do the whole conspiracy theories thing, everybody online that says the Simpsons predicted everything. It was basically like they kind of paid homage to all of those things.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
it's kind of cool.
It's interesting to see what they're doing.
But so happy Friday. It is Football Friday.
Yes.
In case you haven't heard, there's a kind of a big football game tonight at the Wool Bowl.
Bit of a big deal.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. Yeah, it's
this would be a good night to get your shopping done.
But yes, the Wool Bowl tonight. Pack it up with half a sea of blue and half a sea of red as Roswell and Goddard square off tonight at the Wool Bowl.
I don't know who's home, or I can't remember who's home right offhand, but I think it's Roswell High. I
want to say you're right. I think Goddard was the home team last year, which would make Roswell High the home team this year. It all it matters to we the fans is what side of the stands we sit on.
Where are you going to park?
For the players, what locker room they get dressed in. But it's a home game for everybody.
Yeah. And, everybody's got home field advantage.
And it's got big implications here. Of course, Roswell's, I believe, the number 2 seed in their coaches poll right now. Goddard's sitting at 4. And this is the final game of the quote-unquote district play regular season. Selection committee Saturday night or Sunday will be making their selections for the top seeds for state playoffs here. And so we'll know Sunday.
Top 4 get a bye?
Top 4 teams get a bye the first week, and we're anticipating the 3 schools we cover
having a quiet week next week.
Exactly. That's what we're hoping.
Listen.
As Roswell, Goddard, and Artesia. And I think, and regardless of, like, if Goddard wins tonight, they're definitely in the top 4.
As much as it pains me to say this, as a proud alumnus of the Roswell High, the class of 2002, go Big Blue, because I really want a quiet week next week.
Well, I think, and this is where I'm a little fuzzy, and the coaches and everything could answer better, but I kind of get the feeling that they're going to be 4 win or lose. Like,
really? Okay.
Because Roswell's a 2, and so they're not going to lose that much ground, not enough to slip out of that. Now, this is the coaches thing and selection committee, and weird things have happened during that selection thing. So, but
is Artesia sitting in the top spot, or are they
right now? Yeah, Artesia, and assuming they go and take on Mayfield tonight, I imagine with a win over Mayfield, they're going to lock that down. But even if they lose to Mayfield, they're not dropping.
They're still going to be in the top 4
so,
for sure.
So we're pretty confident in all 3 teams, regardless of what happens tonight, will be in the top 4. But nothing is guaranteed. So everybody's gunning for wins, and of course it's a battle for Roswell. You don't think anybody's going to let off the gas pedal a little bit? No.
It's a civil war, the North versus the South.
It's going to be, and I'll tell you, it's going to be a tale of which team imposes their will, because they're kind of opposites. The way they run their offense, it's because Goddard's a very much ball control, grind it out, slow it. They're wanting to control the clock by just grinding it out. Roswell's the opposite. They want to get a playoff like every few seconds. They're one of the ones that went bam, 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 bam. So it's really going to be who controls the tempo of the game tonight. I sound like an analyst, like I know what I'm talking about. But who controls the tempo of the game tonight really is going. That's who's going to be your victor.
I'm surprised that someone like an aspiring film student hasn't done a full-blown like Ken Burns style documentary about the week leading up to this game. Like, get somebody really, like a really great voice to narrate it. Get like the, Red River Blues with the harmonica.
It was an early Sunday morning in the crisp mountains of Ruidoso where it all started.
And then, like,
a young boy.
It's a civil war. It's the North versus the South. I'm surprised somebody hasn't taken that approach. It's any film students out there that want to steal that idea, feel free.
Yeah. Although Civil War is probably not the most popular topics right now in the world we live in.
There was an incredibly successful Avengers movie from just a few years ago titled exactly that.
About that.
Yeah.
Team Cap. Yay! All right, let me do. You know what? Before I do the rundown, I must thank the very fine folks at McDonald's.
Yes.
Because it is Friday, and you know what they do every Friday.
They do.
Provide us with delicious breakfast treats. Mr. Roy heads that way.
I was assured there's plenty for everyone, is what he said this morning.
McDonald's today?
There's a good selection in there.
All right. Well, select away. Did our guests get selected yet?
Not quite.
All right.
They'll get there.
Get in there and get
I haven't
you a McDonald's.
perused the bag just yet.
Once we start getting our hands on it, it's not pretty.
That's right.
But big thank you to McDonald's. Swing on by any of their McDonald's locations here in town. Don't forget that app. It is your friend. It is your guide, your Sherpa at McDonald's, if you will. You can get exclusive deals through that app, things you can't get just by rolling up in there.
Yep.
And so you can use the deal, then roll up in there, and then get things like my favorite highly coveted deal is the $5 or $6 20-piece chicken nugget when they do that deal.
But you got a threatening letter from the McDonald's people recently. They said, it looks like you're camping out on some points here, bud.
That's right. You're a point squatter.
Like, we're going to send some guys over to take some of those points off your hands if you don't spend them.
Yes, I had to pay my respects.
I understand. Those things come in handy. I'm telling you. Like I was struggling last couple of weeks, and a free hot and spicy for 1,500 points. That's nothing when you got 9,000-10,000.
That's right. Like you just you made it rain.
Here,
virtual points.
Oh, I've got your paltry 1,500 points.
Here's a couple more for your time.
That's right. Go buy something nice for your kids.
Get something pretty for yourself. Oh, man. But thank you to the fine folks at McDonald's. Please download the app, start accruing your points today, and you too can be a baller like us.
That's right. A dollar millionaire.
Oh, man. Let me tell you what's on tap for today's show. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to have the gentleman from Roswell Ford join us, General Manager Eric Hardison and Service Manager Larry Skanes are going to drop by, give us an update on what they got going on there at Roswell Ford. Might talk a little Veterans Day, too, because they're one of our proud sponsors for this year's Veterans Parade as well.
Indeed.
In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have Chavez County Manager Bill Williams join us, give us the skinny in the last county commission meeting, and which I believe was yesterday. They pushed it back a week. And then other things happening in and around Chavez County this morning. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Jen and Lee with American Legion Post 61 going to join us. And they're going to invite you all out to a big Halloween event tomorrow out at First United Methodist Church, 1 to 5, their big Halloween Carnival walkthrough event. They want you to get out of your car and into their dreams. I had to reverse.
I was going to say.
I had to reverse Billy Ocean. Get out of my mind.
Get into your ride.
Get out of your car and into our carnival. Dun, 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 dun.
I said, hey, you get into our carnival.
That's about the scariest thing you're going to find right there.
And good morning.
But yeah.
Now, so there's going to be people driving to work going, I said, hey, you.
Dang those guys.
Darn you,
Billy
Mike and Sean.
We're going to see an uptick on Spotify for Billy Ocean. All right. It is 7:16. Let us get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We had that cold front move through yesterday, and now we have high pressure back over our area, so things look good. It'll be cool today with our afternoon high staying at around 60, and it could be very windy with gusts of 25 to 45 miles per hour. Watch out for some blowing dust. Overnight, partly cloudy, and our low in the upper 30s, upper 60s, and sunny on Saturday, and not as windy, fair Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 51 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 52%. Winds, they are a-blowing at the moment out of the north at 17, gusting to 24 miles per hour. Mostly sunny today. Expect a high of 62. So once the ominous burns off, it will get some sun. Winds will remain breezy today, though, out of the north, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, when you're heading out to the Wool Bowl here, might be a little chilly. Bring a jacket. But overnight, going to see some patchy fog. Otherwise, mostly clear skies. Overnight low of 38. So I think we were looking yesterday. It's going to be around kickoff in the mid-50s. So light jacket. That's Art Sandoval and I he was doing a search, and I think he said 55 was the expected kickoff temperature tonight. So light jackets tonight. Overnight low of 38 with northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, wake up with some patchy fog early, otherwise sunny. High of 66 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear tomorrow night with an overnight low of 39 degrees. Southeast winds 5 to 10. Sunday, mostly sunny. Highs back near 70. Winds will be out of the northwest at around 5 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy Sunday night with an overnight low of 42. And for Halloween on Monday, mostly sunny. Highs near 70. Clear skies tomorrow or Monday night for trick-or-treating. With an overnight low of 43. All right, it is 18 minutes after 7. We're going to take a 4-minute break. Only 2 political ads in this one. The rest are the regular garden variety. But a quick commercial break. We'll talk to the folks from Roswell Ford after this. Don't go away.
In Matthew 19, Jesus says, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." At Country Club Road, we love kids. From the youngest to the oldest, we try to teach them about the love of Jesus and his saving grace that he offers each of them. The children are the future of our world and of our church. We want them to understand and appreciate what the love of Christ calls us to do. We want to set the example of how to share the love and grace of Christ to those around them through giving back. One way we do that is to give the children of Roswell a safe place to trick-or-treat. On Sunday, October 30th from 4 to 6 p.m., we will be hosting our normal trunk or treat in the church parking lot. We invite you to bring your kids and enjoy a time of fun and fellowship with us. Come meet our people and see what we're all about. We look forward to seeing your family there.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Representative Greg Nybert has always and continues to believe in less government interference in our lives, Second Amendment rights, strong and consistent enforcement of the law, no leniency for criminals, right to life, and government spending within its means. Greg Nybert has represented House District 59 fairly and consistently. Please vote for Greg Nybert, District 59.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Representative, Richard Taylor, Treasurer.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and early detection saves lives. Take care of yourself by staying up to date on your mammograms at Artesia General Hospital. Their 3D mammography brings you the most accurate technology with your comfort and convenience in mind. Appointments average just 15 minutes. If you're a woman over age 40, you don't need a doctor's referral to schedule a mammogram. Remember, early detection saves lives. Request your appointment today at artesiageneral.com/mammogram.
Hello, we are Nevaeh and Sophia, student leaders from Nancy Lopez Elementary School. We invite the families of Nancy Lopez to our Family Literacy Night on Tuesday, November 1st from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Learn about our new Core Knowledge Language Arts program and join our teachers for fun literacy games. You will have a chance to win books and reading games, plus pizza slices from Dion's Pizza. Keep reading.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor. John runs with us. Nothing runs like a deer. Get a 3 Series tractor with 0% APR for 72 months at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2316.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia or Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Prepare for the scare. The city of Roswell presents Night of the Living Zoo, October 28th and 29th at the Spring River Zoo, with spooktastic fun for the whole family, including carnival games, a bouncing castle, carousel, and of course, trick-or-treating with lots of candy. Wear your Halloween costumes and prepare for the affair of the spooky season. Admission is only $5. Kids 3 and under are free. Get tickets and more info at roswell-connect.com. Night of the Living Zoo, October 28th and 29th at the Spring River Zoo in Roswell. See you there.
Hi, I'm 5th District Judge Eileen Reardon. I'm a native New Mexican and I've lived here all my life. I graduated from NMSU and UNM law schools. The law has been my life. I don't make the laws, the legislature does. My job is to apply those laws to the facts without favoritism or political consideration, and I do that well. I'm asking for your vote on November 8th. I'm Eileen Reardon, District Court Judge. Thank you.
Paid for by the Committee-elect Judge Reardon, Steve McCutcheon, Treasurer.
I'm Judge Reardon, and I approve this message.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. When asked for comment, Buzz Lightyear responded, "To infinity and beyond." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Roswell Ford, we have General Manager Eric Hardison and Service Manager Larry Skanes with us. Good morning, guys.
Morning. Good morning.
How y'all gentlemen doing?
We're doing excellent.
Good. How's I'm guessing it seems like, I think the last time we talked to you, we were talking about slim pickings and inventory and things like that.
We were in here
because
for our car show.
The world of COVID. So, but I think you're starting to see vehicles from the dealership showing up.
We're seeing a little bit.
In trickles and things here now.
Yes, it's nothing, like what we want.
Sure.
For sure.
Sure. Not, if there was like COVID didn't exist, it's nowhere near there. Yeah. But at least new cars are showing up from time to time now.
They are able to, we still have the supply chain issues with the chips and the just materials.
The world we live in.
It seems that now all of a sudden we're having transportation issues. It just seems like it's taking an extra couple weeks to get vehicles from the plant to the dealership. Where it used to be a 2 to 3 week trip on a train and a truck. Now it seems like it's taking 3 to 5 weeks.
Sure.
So
COVID makes trains go slower.
I guess I don't know. It's just strange. It's just strange.
It's impenetrable to bars after 10 p.m. It makes trains go slower.
I know. Exactly. That's funny. Exactly right. So getting better. Obviously, hopefully, the more as time goes by, I think that that stuff will get ironed out.
Mm-hmm.
I think we still have probably another year-ish,
before it starts feeling
kind
normal.
of back to somewhat normal.
Which makes probably Larry's job that much more important over the last couple of years here, because your kind of customer base probably shifted a bit from those ones that buy a new car, kind of faithfully every 3-5 years, whether it's a lease or an own. Now they're having to come up with other options if they don't want a pre-owned vehicle, or if they're like, all right, well, we're going to make this one, keep going for a few more years. And good news, Larry and his team can help you do that side of things.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we see a lot more used inventory now.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't mind that so much because
it's funny though. You mentioned that we've. The average vehicle that comes down our service department is now 8 years old with over 90,000 miles on it, and you rewind a year and a half, that was 6.5 years old, maybe 7,
Makes sense.
And about 70,000 miles. So people are keeping their cars longer, putting more miles on them just because of the fact that the replacement vehicles are not necessarily out there as readily available as they'd like.
Sure. So, and I guess if in the supply and demand world, people's pre-owned vehicles are holding their value a lot better now. Even it's not as crazy as it was a year ago, but still it is. Yeah, you're getting pretty good top dollar for trade-ins.
Wholesale values have righted themselves a little bit, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But still, the world we're in, the inventory levels on new just isn't there. So we have to. We still have to have a product to sell folks, and want people who need, better transportation maybe, or newer transportation, or more reliable than what they currently have. So, we've got those options as well. And like I said, we want to make sure that we're servicing your needs.
And y'all have really expanded your service department's services since COVID, now offering the mobile and everything else. There's really a lot of options for customers, to not only can't get a new car right now, but we can come to you. We got many options to to help you keep your current vehicle in top condition.
Yeah, we are really excited about the launch of that mobile service. We've had the van for going on about 4 months now, but we're really now. The first couple months we were kind of working out the logistics on how to do it, how to service our customer base, and so we've got all those types of things worked out, and now we really want to make sure that everybody knows that we're able to come to you. We can bring the service department right to you.
Sure.
I mean, it can do. I mean, we're not going to be able to rebuild your engine in your driveway,
right? Yeah,
but we can do
not magic magicians, but
we can do all kinds of maintenance stuff, recalls. I mean, it's pretty impressive what that van is equipped with and what it can actually do. It really is impressive.
I would imagine, short of lifting a vehicle or craning something down into it like an engine, they probably could do just about everything.
Just about
else.
anything.
About everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really is. It's really quite amazing how that thing is outfitted and what it can do.
So I'm curious now. Is oil changes almost like old school with Dad in the driveway type oil changes now, where you were laying under the car and all that, or does the van
the mobile service thing is a little like that, but we still have there's still equipment that we use to help extract.
Because obviously at the garage, everyone's down below and everyone's and it's in and out 5 minutes.
Jacked up and there's a sheet that they laid down to keep it all clean.
But I was just curious. I was kind of like, you don't have that in somebody's driveway or a parking lot or something.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about disposing of the oil. We take care of all that stuff. We protect your driveway or wherever it is we're working on the vehicle.
Yeah, they're pros and they're not going to. Unlike your dad. There would be oil stains in your driveway.
Got to keep it clean. I'll get that phone call.
I think anybody around our age or older, a little younger, we all had that moment where Dad teaches change oil or something. Now cars are a little more complicated, and so you almost have to take it to someone to get it done.
Yeah.
But it almost kind of harkens back to that a little bit. That time working with the pops in the car in the garage in the weekends.
The thing is, a lot of it is about it's convenience now. Most people, everybody's busy, and nobody wants to come.
Sure.
For something minor like that, something quick and easy, we can come to you.
Absolutely.
And there's a mail-in rebate, and you can go online with Ford for mobile service through the end of the year. You can save $25.
Nice.
So if we come out to your house and do a service wherever, you can go online. There's a website called it's Ford.com/service-rebate, I believe is what it is, and you can fill something out online. You get $25 back from Ford on that, or you can do a mail-in thing, but it'd probably be a little easier if you can do it online.
Sure.
Probably quicker, I would say.
Save you a little time. And
definitely would be quicker. So.
Digital beats a stamp every time.
For sure. Yeah.
But so it actually, because I imagine that you get some people's like, oh, I'm sure that's an expensive service. They'd come to you and do all that, and you're like, not really. It's not really much. There's a little bit more expense than coming to the store, but you always pay
the coupon
for
rebates and. We have other different discounts as well. We have a 10% discount that we offer for any veteran, any active duty military, and first responders.
Yeah.
So, you can use that to save yourself a little bit of money.
Excellent.
As well. So just let us know.
Yeah. And segue here, just for folks that don't know, our Veterans Parade is going to be coming up here in a couple weeks.
2 weeks,
in November.
2
weeks.
Saturdays. I
think.
Yeah.
And of course, Roswell Ford,
we
big supporter and sponsor of this year's parade. So
we will
appreciate
absolutely
that.
Be involved.
As a member of the American Legion, I thank you for that. I put that hat on and thank you.
We're glad
for
to
that.
help. For sure.
But and folks, get on out. That'll be Saturday. The is that 11th or 12th? I can't remember.
It's the 12th.
12th. Yeah, yes. Saturday the 12th. 9 a.m. on the courthouse lawn. They'll start there and then have a ceremony there, and then the parade will head towards the Wool Bowl. And then we want to come on out to the Wool Bowl. We're going to have, I think National Guard will have some stuff out there. There'll be lots of booths and things, and, of course, our American Legion. And I don't know, you guys going to bring a few cars out there maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
so we'll have a few of the Ford vehicles, maybe. I don't know.
Something on display out there.
Yeah.
People see
what's
stuff.
kind of the hot ride on the lot right now? I know you always get one of the Mustangs or one of the all electric Ford pickups.
We do have a Lightning. We'll bring that. We'll be able to bring that out there.
Okay.
And let people check it out and see all the space age
bells
technology
and everything else.
It's pretty neat. It's definitely neat.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious. I know this is getting philosophical, but I know Ford nationally is kind of going heavy electric. Is that something that your dealership will start doing some of that too?
Ford is kind of wanting to split their business in two different avenues where they have the electric and then they have the regular combustion engine,
the regular stuff,
the stuff that we're used to, right? Yeah. So there's going to be some different stuff that we'll have to do as a dealership, to be involved in the electric stuff as far as certifications go.
Gotcha.
We are certified now, completely certified to do anything EV related as we speak now.
So you guys are upgrading with the time, so to speak.
Yes, we are. And there's a lot of more training coming for sure.
I imagine for your service department especially. Yeah. Is that a whole different ballgame working on electrics than
it's a whole different ballgame. We mostly do fleet vehicles, and we do a lot of fleet vehicles. When you have a 30,000-pound vehicle, it's a little hard to do EV on it.
Yeah, I'm just, and this is where I'm a dummy. I can change oil and things, but there's no gas. I mean, is there any kind of oil to lubricate and things? I have no idea.
Yeah,
what is it that they use?
Yeah, it's a different ballgame.
It is different. Everybody has to learn.
Still needs tires.
It still will need tires for sure, but the maintenance aspect and the stuff is definitely different.
Yeah, that's the part now I'm trying to think is how does it lubricate? Because the piston, everything's still got to go. Unless it's all electric wires pushing here to push. I don't know. I guess I got to wrap my head around the concept of combustion versus electric power and how it's produced, maybe.
The thing that amazed me the most, we worked on one, I don't know, it was a while ago, but the battery itself is as big as your table here.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's massive.
Wow. So you ain't just swapping that out in the driveway?
No, it's super heavy.
Yeah, you have a whole lift for it.
Yeah, it is.
Interesting.
Specifically for the battery.
But definitely swing on by Ford here.
Yes.
And if you're looking to go, get upgraded here, Ford's on that cutting edge, and they can help you. Of course, if you still need an old-fashioned pickup that's got a diesel or a big old gas engine in there, they can help you.
We got that as well, yes.
Because we know there's a lot of farming and ranching work out here. And maybe someday electric will be able to service those needs.
A lot of that as well.
But electric's not there technology-wise yet for some
I'm
sure in our lifetime they'll probably get there.
In our lifetime it might get there. The technology might get there, but not just yet.
It's one of those things. It's obviously when the first microwave came out, or the first, it's never
something new.
Yeah, you bought it and it was this big highfalutin thing with lots of tubes and looked like something that might kill you.
Yeah,
and it cost probably $2,000. Now you look at a microwave and get one for probably under $100 and probably cooks way quicker than anything you had 30 years ago. Electrics and it's evolutionary, just like everything else. We're in the infancy stage of it. By 20, 30 years from now, they may be comparable, equal on the gas.
No, I think they will.
But, and I think Ford sees that. That's why they're going that way. Because on the horizon, they're like, once they figure out the technology, we're going to have to stay up at that time.
Yes, for sure.
But till the meantime, they got you gas or electric covered, whichever direction you want to go.
We can take care of that. That's for sure. Anytime you need, if you need any service work done, oil change particularly, no appointment necessary. Just stop by the store.
Yeah.
Larry had mentioned fleet work. We do a lot of fleet work for a lot of different businesses and companies around town.
So if your company needs several vehicles,
if you've got 2 vehicles or you got 200, we want to take care of you. So
absolutely.
Don't forget to, we really highly encourage folks that take advantage of the mobile service for sure. And, and we want to take care of our veterans and first responders and active duty. Make sure you mention that so we can get you your discount.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely do that. I know sometimes some veterans like to, don't worry about it. But then, and please say it.
I mean, you deserve it.
Yeah, you've earned it.
You've earned it.
For
sure.
Definitely.
No question.
Come and that's something. And this is with any Crumlin dealership. They've always been very supportive of the community and our veterans and things like that.
Yeah,
so when you come to Roswell Ford, you will get that same respect and treatment, and so utilize it here.
Yeah.
And definitely, like everything else in this world, if you're trying to keep those vehicles going, establish that history. And that's really what it's all about when it comes to car maintenance and things is that history and just keeping the oil changed regularly, keeping the maintenance, the tires rotated regularly. Those because if you do that, these cars will to be honest, they'll probably outlive most of us.
It is amazing. Used to, I started in this business 30 years ago. In the early 1990, actually. I mean, you didn't see cars didn't didn't go 200,000+ miles an hour.
Yeah.
They just didn't.
Right.
And now
things fall apart.
Now you see it all. We see it every day.
Yeah, they're built
every single
differently,
day. and just like you said, if maintenance, if you just take care of the vehicle, we're going to give you a free multi-point inspection every time you come in. Let you know, what it could need down the road, what it needs immediately, and that way you can budget accordingly.
And a lot of that's time and money because especially when you're talking like when it's time for tune-ups and oil changes, or you have to do a cleaning, a fuel injection cleaning or something like that.
Yeah,
all of that is the sacrifice in fuel efficiency and power versus your dollar. Okay. You think of it long term. If you're not doing like the fuel injection cleaning and things like that, you just keep letting stuff build up in there, or swap out a fuel filter every once in a while. If you're not doing these things, you're suddenly going to know that $60, $80, $100 tank of gas is getting you a lot less miles than it was when you first bought that vehicle.
Right.
And that's and I don't know about you, but the way gas is right now, I don't think I want to keep giving more money to somebody else for gas.
That's a source.
Let's go ahead and swap that filter out. Let's go ahead and get that fuel injection cleaning. Let's go ahead and take care of these maintenance things, so you're not wasting fuel and your money here. So
especially the cost of it.
But that's all about service, and that's where coming to see. I know people get forgetting. It's like, all right, then we'll see. And they drove off the lot, and they haven't changed the oil in 3 years since they bought the car.
That happens.
Oil? Yeah. I used to squirt this thing and stuff would come on the windshield, but that stopped like a year ago.
Right. That's so true.
That's you've got to maintain that stuff. You got to kind of stay on top of that kind of stuff, and that's where Larry and his staff will help you, and they'll help you stay on top of it too. They'll, once you kind of come down for the first time to get settled in, they can line you. All right, we got your oil change now. We can set you up for 5,000 miles or whatever you're scheduled to next come in again. And it's like, hey, by the way, we noticed your tires are good now, but probably next time your oil change due, they're probably going to need to be rotated or something like that, or whatever it is. Or we noticed your I think anytime people come in for oil change and all that, you're checking all the other fluids, making sure levels
are full multi-point inspection.
Yeah, everything is leveled off, so your transmission fluid and your motor oil, obviously, and your wiper fluid and other fluids that are in there that are all where there should be. So that once every 3 years you decide to fill it up, they're good to go. So
hopefully soon.
When your oil starts looking like your hot fudge from your Sunday, it's time to change it.
Yeah, exactly right.
And this is inconsistent. You might get in trouble when you get to that point. You start when it gets to that point. When your car starts going knock knock knock, that's not time to change. That was way past time to change your oil. You're close to seizing up your engine.
That's true. That is
unless you're electric, of course. Yeah. Very good. And then, like we said, don't forget, as Roswell Ford, big supporters of this year's Veterans Parade. Please come out. Matter of fact, absolutely. Roswell Ford, hang out in front. That'll be a good spot to watch the parade.
Yeah,
you want to be there at 9 down the courthouse lawn, but once everything's over, make your way up towards Ford there.
You get a good front row seat.
Get a good seat there from the thing, and then when you're maybe you got to get an oil change or something. So kill two birds. Go get an oil change and then hang out front and watch the parade. And by the time it's done, your car should be done.
Yeah, for sure. That's for sure. That will work. Yeah,
good deal.
Yeah, hopefully we get a good turnout. We want everybody to support it as much as possible. That's
absolutely. And then of course, if you're looking for a vehicle, brand new pre-owned, come on down. And of course, if you're not quite ready there and you're trying to hold on for another year or two, then please
we can help you in that area as well.
Yeah, and even if you bought a brand new car, call on out the service department when you're ready for that first oil change or that first. Matter of fact, since you bought a car, I imagine they've probably got some of that covered for you already too.
New vehicles, yes.
Many of those instances.
Ford Pass Rewards program, it takes care of your services. Yeah. It can pay up to a couple of them depending on the vehicle and what it needs.
What the incentives at that particular moment are, and of course every time you come by they wash your car for you and everything else too. So
you can take care of all that.
An added bonus, one less thing you got that you got to sit there waiting in line on a Saturday morning while everybody else is washing their car.
Yeah.
Or it's like I got my oil change, got all that done. Now I'm going to the ball game. I'm gonna go home. Good deal. Is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to share that you guys wanted to talk about?
We're glad you had us on.
Anytime. And like I said, if you have questions, anything, please reach out. They're folks. That's what they do. They're to help you do. It's a different world today with salespeople trying to sell cars and all of that stuff, but they're really they're almost that car Sherpa now, because because the way cars are built, way they are, they're really your guide to get you what you want and help you. So if you're, especially when money's tight, you want to make sure you get vehicles that meet the exact needs as close as you can.
Yeah.
And that's where your sales experts can help you. It's like, look, if you're trying to do this job with this vehicle, I'd recommend you go in this direction with it.
Well,
and they can help
the
you
worst
with
thing you
all
want
that.
to do is purchase something that can't do what you want it to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think
very,
that's
very disappointing.
I'm guessing that's kind of like consumers, and that's how mindsets changed since COVID. Before we're kind of like, ooh, the latest Mustang's out. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Or the latest, Raptor's out. I want to get my hands on it here. And now it's like, I don't know if they're going to be available. I'm like, dude, I want something that's just, going to pull. I got a farm to work at. I got a ranch. I work out in the oil field.
Mm-hmm.
I got to have something that's going to be tough. And so people are less like, oh, I want the latest Raptor. It's like, I just need something that's going to keep me from sitting on the side of the road out here. And Ford always comes through on that.
For sure.
That's something that they, since the dawn of the vehicle, they've been doing that. So absolutely. So good deal. Well, thank you guys. I'm sure you have a slew of work waiting for you back at the dealership. So we'll let you do that. Hopefully, are you guys going to be the first ones in, or does that mean, like, how does that work? Like, first guy have to bring coffee and donuts, or?
Well,
what's
we're
usually
the last one.
Last one is coffee.
Yeah, if you show up late, you better have breakfast.
Well, then I better let you guys go, because so breakfast ain't on y'all.
Right.
Although we might I was gonna say, leave us some McDonald's, but take that with you. You can take it with you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
It is 7:43. Let's pause for some news and your Kim Commando update and your Chaffetz County sports update as well. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The City of Roswell's annual water, sewer, and sanitation rate adjustments, as established by city ordinances, are scheduled to begin appearing on customers' bills next month. The annual adjustments, which are established in city ordinance in 2013 for water and sewer and 2020 for sanitation, are made to these rates to ensure the city has sufficient revenue to take care of the system maintenance that's needed. This year's water and sewer adjustment is a combined increase of 4.1%, while the sanitation adjustment is an increase of about 14.6%. The Biden administration's approval of oil leases in a corner of New Mexico that's become a battleground over increased development and preservation of Native American sites has prompted a legal challenge. Environmental groups are now suing the BLM and U.S. Interior Secretary Deb Haaland. They contend in a complaint filed Wednesday that the federal government is going back on its word by clearing the way for oil and gas development on federal lands near Chaco Culture National Historical Park. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Back in April, before his takeover bid, Elon Musk publicly asked the question, is Twitter dying? I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by SimpliSafe. Now's your chance to save big on a customizable home security system. Get 40% off today at simplysafekim.com. In the past 18 months, many of Twitter's most active users, known inside Twitter as heavy tweeters, have ghosted their accounts. Heavy tweeters include celebrities and politicians. They account for less than 10% of monthly users, but they generate 90% of all tweets and 50% of Twitter's global revenue. So-called not safe for work content, especially porn, has become the highest growing topic among English-speaking heavy tweeters, which caused CNBC to ask if Twitter is morphing into a glorified porn outlet, which prompted Elon Musk to tweet, "The reason I acquired Twitter is because it's important for the future of civilization to have a common digital town square." Follow me on Twitter at Kim Commando. Data breaches are at an all-time high as cyber criminals find new ways to hack into email accounts and steal personal information. That's why I use StartMail. StartMail is a secure email provider that protects my privacy. Every email can be encrypted or protected with a password, which means hackers and big tech can't read, scan, analyze, or sell my personal information. And when you delete an email, it's gone forever. StartMail is backed by the world's most robust privacy laws. In fact, StartMail uses their own servers, not Amazon's. Plus, if you're ever required to provide an email but want to protect your identity, StartMail can generate unlimited disposable email addresses that can be deleted at any time. Switching is easier than ever. Transfer all your emails and contacts with just a few clicks. Say goodbye to big tech email providers for good. Start securing your email privacy with StartMail today and get 50% off your first year. Go to startmail.com/Kim. That's startmail.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We had that cold front move through yesterday, and now we have high pressure back over our area, so things look good. It'll be cool today with our afternoon high staying at around 60, and it could be very windy with gusts of 25 to 45 miles per hour. Watch out for some blowing dust. Overnight, partly cloudy, and our low in the upper 30s, upper 60s, and sunny on Saturday, and not as windy, fair Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Last weekend of the regular season for local football teams. Well, one team's already in the playoffs. We'll tell you about that in a second. Tonight at the Wool Bowl, Roswell against Goddard. That starts at 7 o'clock. Both teams are 1-1 in district play. Roswell 7-2 overall. Goddard 6-3. Should be fun. Also tonight, this is for the district championship. Dexter at home against Ruidoso. Dexter 5-4, 3-0 in district. Ruidoso is 8-1, also 3-0 in district play. And MMI is playing at Tucumcari tonight. The Colts are 4-5 overall, but winless in district. Tucumcari is winless, period. Six-man football tonight. It's the opening round of the playoffs, and the number one seed are the Gateway Christian Warriors. They're 8-0. They'll be at home tonight at 6 o'clock against 8th-seeded New Mexico School for the Deaf. The sports report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Wall Street delivered another mixed finish for stocks Thursday as disappointing quarterly results from several big tech companies offset gains elsewhere in the market. The U.S. economy grew at a 2.6% annual rate from July through September, snapping 2 straight quarters of contraction and overcoming high inflation and interest rates just as voting begins in midterm elections, in which the economy's health is a major concern. Businesses are increasingly worried about the renewed threat of a railroad strike after 2 unions rejected their deals, and they want President Biden and Congress to be ready to intervene. A coalition of 322 business groups from a variety of industries signed off on a letter to President Biden Thursday, urging him to make sure the deals he helped to broker last month get approved, because a railroad strike would have dire consequences for the economy. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
In Matthew 19, Jesus says, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." At Country Club Road, we love kids. From the youngest to the oldest, we try to teach them about the love of Jesus and his saving grace that he offers each of them. The children are the future of our world and of our church. We want them to understand and appreciate what the love of Christ calls us to do. We want to set the example of how to share the love and grace of Christ to those around them through giving back. One way we do that is to give the children of Roswell a safe place to trick or treat. On Sunday, October 30th from 4 to 6 p.m., we will be hosting our normal trunk or treat in the church parking lot. We invite you to bring your kids and enjoy a time of fun and fellowship with us. Come meet our people and see what we're all about. We look forward to seeing your family there.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Mark Ronchetti talks and talks, a lot. Problem is, he lies and lies a lot, too. The ads about the governor letting killer Chris Beltran out early are flat out untrue. KOB-TV fact-checked Department of Corrections documents, and they called the ads, quote, inaccurate. They found that corrections released Beltran after he completed his sentence because, quote, he served his time. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham had nothing to do with it. The truth is, Mark Ronchetti is exploiting a tragedy to get himself elected, not to protect us. He would roll back Michelle Lujan Grisham's heavy investment in beefing up our state police and local law enforcement. An independent study by a former state finance department secretary shows that the proposals on Ronchetti's own website would cut public safety, education, and healthcare by billions of dollars. Mark Ronchetti should never be governor. He'll make us less safe.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Hello, we are Nevaeh and Sophia, student leaders from Nancy Lopez Elementary School. We invite the families of Nancy Lopez to our Family Literacy Night on Tuesday, November 1st from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Learn about our new core knowledge language arts program and join our teachers for fun literacy games. You will have the chance to win books and reading games, plus pizza slices from Dion's Pizza. Keep reading.
American Legion Post 61 invites you to their 3rd annual Halloween Carnival walkthrough event. It's bigger and better than ever. Join us in the parking lot of First United Methodist Church, 200 North Pennsylvania in Roswell, this Saturday between 1 and 5 p.m. Enjoy spooky family fun with pumpkins, ghosts, goblins, and ghouls. And if you make it to the end, yummy candy awaits you on the other side. Cost is just a donation to Post 61, but is not required to enjoy all of the fun. Celebrate Halloween this year with American Legion Post 61 this Saturday, if you dare.
If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
I'm Michelle Garcia Holmes, and I'm running for United States Congress. As a former policewoman, I put on my Kevlar vest, uniform, gun belt, grabbed my 12-gauge shotgun, jumped into my police car, and hit the city streets to keep you safe. I want to do the same for you in Washington. I'm asking for your vote on November 8th because our families deserve safe cities, a secure border, and lower gas prices.
Donate today at GarciaHolmesForCongress.com. Paid for by Michelle Garcia Holmes for Congress.
For over 40 years, Sierra Blanca Motors here in Roswell have been providing locals with quality vehicles and are committed to providing you quality vehicles and service for many years to come. No sales gimmicks, no inflated pricing, just a quality pre-owned vehicle listed at retail pricing or less. Have a used vehicle to sell? Get top trade-in value or an amazing cash offer today. Let Danny or Jose provide you a great car buying experience. Call 575-622-7907 or stop by Sierra Blanca Motors at 720 South Main Street in Roswell. Se habla español.
The New Mexico Modern Child Support Family Program. It works to benefit both parents for the purpose of improving children's lives. It provides the basics of child support but goes further by helping parents step up to find better job opportunities that get them back on track to paying their monthly child support obligation. Find out how the Child Support Step Up program can help your modern family. Contact New Mexico Child Support today at 1-800-283-4465 or visit hsd.state.nm.us. Brought to you by the New Mexico Human Services Department.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:55. Got a few minutes here before we get you into news. And real quick, I was looking at, I want to talk football for just 5 more minutes here. So I was seeing on the social medias that there's a lot of conversations going on in NFL circles amongst fans, of course, and pundits that they're kind of comparing and contrasting Bill Belichick. You know, everyone talking about how he's the greatest coach and all of this, and they're starting to see a few cracks in that armor here with sans Tom Brady, era as the Patriots quarterback, and they're all kind of say, yeah, was it Belichick or was it Tom Brady? And so they're having that conversation, and then it made me laugh because one of the conversations was seeing somebody said, well, name a coach that had won, has taken, or name a great coach that did not win Super Bowls with a great quarterback and all that, and it made me laugh when someone chimed that in. Like, oh, yeah, well, name someone else who's done better. Almost everybody exclusively was like, Joe Gibbs won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks, and 2 of them were during strike years. Tell me again how dynasties don't work.
Actually, I love when...
and it made me happy because being a Redskins fan and everything, I was like, yeah, Joe Gibbs is the man. Don't ever... No one can hold his jockstrap. He is the best man to ever walk the earth, Joe Gibbs.
This side of sports makes me happy because it makes me realize I'm not as nerdy as I purport myself to be, because that level of nerdiness exists in all realms, regardless of if it's sports or the stuff that I dive into and fill my head with so I don't know math, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd, but y'all are nerds over here too.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all know more stats than I know. That's a mathematician's game.
Well, yeah. Anybody that plays fantasy football, trying to tell you they're not a nerd, they're a nerd.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're crunching numbers.
That's
You're
right.
a nerd.
Exactly. It's just you.
It's just D&D with a few more steps.
You've got just a veil of sweaty dudes in front of you. That's the only difference.
Veil of Sweaty Dudes, ironically, the title of my memoir.
As it should be.
Yeah.
But, it was just, it made me laugh. And it just was like, someone's defending Washington and Joe Gibbs. It was like, because that's the only thing we got.
Yeah.
Dan Snyder has ruined everything else. He has yet to tarnish the greatness that he tried, but he didn't.
That's true. Some make it out unscathed.
Well, and the point they were kind of making was, oh, by the way, Joe Gibbs, he took the talent he got and made them. He goes, you realize one of his Super Bowl MVPs was the kicker. That's because he really takes, yes, not all three. Mark Rippon, quarterback, one of his quarterbacks got it, and then Mark Mosley was, or Chip Lomel, I can't remember which one. One of those two were kicker MVP. And it's, but.
Well, it's the most valuable player. Which player was the most valuable?
Not to saying that Belichick's a great coach. He is. But he ain't the be all end all. That's all I'm saying. A lot of great coaches. I would even argue Bill Parcells, Chuck Knox. There's several coaches out there that you can make cases for over there. Just because they're not currently coaching kids doesn't mean that the greatest coach doesn't exist anymore. Or is just playing. They could have retired. But anyway, it was just nice to see. I just had to share that.
That's right. Everybody knows the big money's in college ball anyways.
I can't watch college football.
Neither can I. It's tough.
Not my thing. It's not my thing. So stay tuned. Next hour, we're going to talk county business.
Yes.
Chavez County Manager Bill Williams will join us, give us a rundown of what happened at last county commission meeting and talk what's going on in and around Chavez County. Don't forget early voting. We're in the midst of that for another week.
Yeah.
And then I want to say because the 8th, next Tuesday, so I think we got next week of early vote and that's it. And then after Saturday, I think we're done early voting.
Yeah.
And then the next time you get to vote will be Election Day on Tuesday.
Yeah, so. Election Day.
Yes. All right. It is closing in on 8 o'clock. We'll be back on the other side of Town Hall News here. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband Paul is hospitalized after being violently assaulted by someone who broke into the couple's San Francisco home early today. That, according to a Pelosi spokesman. The suspect is in custody. The spokesman says that Paul Pelosi expected to make a full recovery. House cleaning time at Twitter after completing his $44 billion purchase of the social media platform. Elon Musk promptly fired the Twitter CEO.
Parag Agrawal is the chief executive of Twitter, but he fell out with Elon Musk in April. He just didn't think that Parag Agrawal got it and was the right leader for the platform. So it's not totally surprising that Parag Agrawal is going to be kicked out of Twitter. Very much expected, but it does show a complete culture shift in Twitter.
The BBC's James Clayton says a Twitter chief financial officer and its chief counsel have also been shown the door. Deadly house fire in Oklahoma, maybe a case of foul play.
Police in Broken Arrow, just outside Tulsa, say 8 people were found dead in suspected homicides after a fire was extinguished at a house. Police say the fire and deaths are being investigated as homicides, but don't think there is an immediate threat to the public.
Correspondent Norman Hall. North Korea launching 2 more ballistic missiles, according to South Korea. The first missile test in a couple of weeks comes amid warnings from the U.S., warning the North against using nuclear weapons, saying that would be the end of the road for the regime in Pyongyang. Key inflation barometer, the Fed keeps a close eye on it, remained painfully high last month. The Commerce Department reports prices rose 6.2% in September from 12 months earlier. Watching Wall Street, the Dow's up 412 points, and NASDAQ ahead 67 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
President Biden traveled to central New York the other day, highlighting a major microchip investment.
During a visit to Syracuse, the president showcased an investment by one of the largest microchip manufacturers in the world. Micron has committed to investing $100 billion over 20 years.
It's the largest American investment of its kind ever in our history.
The announcement fits the president's recent emphasis on the economy, an issue where Americans give him low marks. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Japanese Prime Minister Kishida's government has approved a hefty economic package that will include government funding of about $200 billion to soften the burden of costs from rising utility rates and food prices. Inflation has been on the rise in Japan, along with globally surging prices. A weakening of the yen against the dollar has amplified costs for imports. News and analysis at townhall.com. Yet another attack on a renowned work of art.
Climate extremists have targeted Johannes Vermeer's masterpiece Girl with a Pearl Earring with glue and liquid, but one of the world's most iconic paintings was not damaged in the latest of such publicity-seeking stunts. A video posted on Twitter showed one man pouring a can of red substance over another protester who appeared to attempt to glue his head to the glass-protected painting. The second man stuck his hand to the panel holding the centuries-old painting. Climate extremists had also tried to deface a masterpiece by Vincent van Gogh. Keith Peters reporting.
Hawaii officials warning residents of the Big Island that the world's largest active volcano, Mauna Loa, is sending out signals it may be preparing to blow its top. Researchers say an eruption not imminent, but they are on the alert because of a recent spike in earthquakes at the volcano's summit. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday. Welcome to it.
Yes.
Hope you're having a divine Dia de Viernes.
Yeah. To a point.
Well,
if equipment would function properly, it would be a better day.
Yeah.
If sales would cooperate, it would be a better day. If it was Saturday, it would be a better day.
If ifs and nuts were candy, or ifs and buts were candy and nuts, oh, what a party we'd have. Bye now. Sorry, I had to go back to my old Kim Beatrice days.
I've heard a little different. It was if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, then we'd all have a very Merry Christmas.
Yes, there's that, the Christmas version. But outside of the Christmas season is the, party. Just standard party fare.
The other 364 days.
By the way, if you only are serving candy and nuts at the party, not a good party.
Yeah, well, it depends on what kind of candy and nuts. I mean, if you're bringing macadamias and full-size Snickers bars,
but that's
to the
all
party,
there is. And that's still a little odd.
Yo, we need to hit the house on the corner. They're giving out macadamia nuts and full-size Snickers bars. Maybe don't let Terry or Tim go because he's allergic to nuts, but that's something I didn't think about is because I was reading a list of trick-or-treat etiquette is don't give out candy with nuts in it. It's but the most popular candy across the board is Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah. And then Snickers.
Yeah.
And M&M peanuts. And
you need to communicate with me if your child has a nut allergy, and then I won't reach for the bowl of paydays.
Well, I understand, parent, but that's on y'all. And it's Halloween. They're in wrap packages.
Right.
I mean, are your kid that, can they touch the wrapper without dying? I don't know how that
the
works.
wrapper part would be fine.
Yeah.
So you want to really trip some kids up. You know how the popular houses on the block always give out the full size bars.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what you do: be the house that gives out the full size bars, but give out terrible candy, like 0 bars, like full size, even go king size 0 bars. It's like they're giving out full size bars, but they suck. I didn't even know you could get full size Mary Jane's candies.
What was it? There's a movie with the food. He's like, well, the food is garbage, but the good or bad news is the food's garbage. Good news is there's plenty of it.
There's plenty of it. Well, that's basically the Vegas vacation mentality is, Clark, it's all you can eat.
Yeah.
We're only going to need 1 plate.
Ooh, I'll have some of the yeller.
And don't get cheap on me.
It's always back to Randy Quaid.
Somehow.
Well, happy Friday. I know where you never have to worry about picking the yeller. McDonald's.
That's right, because it's all the yeller.
They ain't stingy on you.
Mm-hmm.
No, visit the fine folks at McDonald's today. As they do, they support this show each and every Friday, providing us with delicious breakfast treats. We are very thankful for them and invite you to go by and swing by to get yourself maybe, maybe you're thinking it's Friday. I want to McGriddle it up.
Ooh.
Or if you're thinking, no, I better keep it safe. I'll stick with some oatmeal. Either way,
yeah,
they got you covered.
That's right. The full spectrum of breakfast is covered
Yeah.
at McDonald's.
So if you want to be a little naughty, or if you want to keep it tight, they got you covered.
If you want to get weird with it, here's what you do. Get yourself like a, apple fritter.
Okay.
And then get yourself a bowl of oatmeal. Dip the fritter in the oatmeal. It's like you're cheating on your good health with your bad health.
That's how Wilford Brimley ate his apple fritters.
There you go. Yeah. He didn't use spoons. He just used fritters. They're just a vessel to get food into my mouth.
Vessel to get oatmeal in me.
If only he would have just tried a spoon. Just once, man. Still be with us.
I need more fritters, and I still got oatmeal left.
Bring me another plate of fritters.
But support McDonald's.
Maybe don't do that.
You do you. I mean,
it is. Yeah, it is.
You may have just invented the greatest breakfast sensation since chicken and waffles.
Oat fritters. Fritter meal.
Fritter meal.
Fritter meal sounds terrible. Fritter meal sounds like the name of a Muppet.
Good. Phenomena. Oh, by the way, I watched The Masked Singer the other night.
Okay.
And the Muppets were the theme. So
really?
like Miss Piggy was one of the judges, and Kermit was like accompanying one of them on piano, and then all that. So it was if you like the show.
I love the Muppets. And you know what I miss is for like a season, they did a sitcom The Muppets were doing like an office-style sitcom where like they
I
were.
vaguely remember something like that. Yeah.
It was really good too. Like it was like the inner machinations of like how to put on the Muppet Show, but like the behind the scenes of it all. And it was really entertaining.
It's Muppets suffer from a thing where it's hard. Like they're kid, but also crossed into adult genre a little bit.
They were created mainly for adults with adults in mind.
But I still think people have a trouble bridging that gap with puppets. Like we've won them over with animation.
Yeah.
The Simpsons and Family Guy and the evolution of that, South Park and all that has brought that. But there, even other Muppet shows have tried for adults. Your Spitting Images, your Crank Yankers,
Jim Henson style puppets don't necessarily work for adult humor.
Yeah.
I've also watched Team America World Police, so I know that puppets can work with adult humor.
Yeah, of course, that's more stopgap motion stuff.
Well, it was marionettes.
Marionettes. But didn't they use stopgap or something? It was just marionettes? Okay.
It's strictly marionettes with, I think they even had the puppets' faces function and stuff. So
Andrew was telling us that Jim Henson he wasn't the, he had a dark side.
He was a bit, Have you ever seen like Labyrinth or anything like that? He was a bit of a dark sider.
Yeah. So, but it hasn't translated, I don't think, and overall in the comedy. Like adults have hey, you going Sunday night, you watching the Muppets? No.
Sure not.
No, I would never do that. And then, might secretly watch the Muppets.
Yeah.
But it's not like Simpsons or King of the Hill or something. Like, King of the Hill night. All right.
Animation domination. Then we'll go watch us some Muppets.
Yeah. All right. Bill Williams, Chaves County manager, patiently waiting in the other room while we banter on about Muppets. He's going to join us here in just a few minutes to discuss county commission meeting and what's happening in and around Chaves County this morning. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street Town Hall business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do any of that, let's take a look at that weather, which a little windy today. Sun's coming out allegedly.
Windy today, misty tomorrow.
There it is. We'll be back.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We had that cold front move through yesterday, and now we have high pressure back over our area, so things look good. It'll be cool today with our afternoon high staying at around 60, and it could be very windy with gusts of 25 to 45 miles per hour. Watch out for some blowing dust. Overnight, partly cloudy, and our low in the upper 30s, upper 60s, and sunny on Saturday, and not as windy, fair Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 52 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity at 52%. Coincidence? Yes, it's a coincidence. Winds currently out of the north at 20, gusting to 29 miles per hour. For today, they say the sun will come out, although I'm starting to see a little blue out there, but still, I think, mostly clouds. But that's going to burn off eventually, and we're going to get to 62 today, allegedly. But winds will remain breezy out of the north, 20 to 25 miles per hour. Actually, they're going to decline a little bit, 10 to 15 this afternoon. So the windier part of the day is right now. Weird. For tonight, bring a coat if you're going to be going out to the Wool Bowl tonight for the big Roswell versus Goddard matchup. Going to be a little chilly. I think at kickoff time, they're predicting temps at like 55. I imagine it'll be in the 40s about the time you're packing up and heading out to the Wool Bowl tonight. But they're talking you could see some patchy fog overnight around 3 in the morning, but mostly clear. Overnight low of 38. Winds will be out of the northwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Saturday, sunny, back into the mid-60s, 66 for a high tomorrow. Winds will be out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 39 degrees. Winds will be out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then we're back up near 70 for you Sunday. Winds out of the northwest at around 5 miles per hour. And then Halloween, another nice day, mostly sunny. Highs right around 70. And then overnight low of 43 for tomorrow night. So probably going to be in the 50s again when you're out and about trick-or-treating. So, all right, it is 8:16. We're going to take a 3-minute break, pay a few bills here. And then, let's see. Only one political ad in this break. The rest are just regular garden variety ads. So we'll be back on the other side. Don't go away.
In Matthew 19, Jesus says, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." At Country Club Road, we love kids. From the youngest to the oldest, we try to teach them about the love of Jesus and his saving grace that he offers each of them. The children are the future of our world and of our church. We want them to understand and appreciate what the love of Christ calls us to do. We want to set the example of how to share the love and grace of Christ to those around them through giving back. One way we do that is to give the children of Roswell a safe place to trick or treat. On Sunday, October 30th from 4 to 6 p.m., we will be hosting our normal trunk or treat in the church parking lot. We invite you to bring your kids and enjoy a time of fun and fellowship with us. Come meet our people and see what we're all about. We look forward to seeing your family there.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
This is Mikey, General Manager at Roswell Nissan. Are you haunted by high payments or afraid you'll be stuck in your old car forever? This is your chance to escape. It's Halloween madness at Roswell Nissan. No tricks, just a lot of treats. Like rates as low as 2.25% for 36 months or 3.99 for 75 months. No payments for 90 days on approved credit. And if you do have creepy credit, Roswell Nissan has credit specialists on hand to help you get your deal done. Halloween madness all October long at Roswell Nissan.
Hello, we are Nevaeh and Sophia, student leaders from Nancy Lopez Elementary School. We invite the families of Nancy Lopez to our Family Literacy Night on Tuesday, November 1st from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Learn about our new core knowledge language arts program and join our teachers for fun literacy games. You will have the chance to win books and reading games, plus pizza slices from Dion's Pizza. Keep reading.
Hi, I'm 5th District Judge Eileen Reardon. When I put on that black robe, my thought process zooms in and focuses on the law. Nothing but the law. Just because I like you or don't, or because you're a Republican or Democrat, in this courtroom, it doesn't matter. The evidence presented and the law that the legislature passed are the only things that matter. This is hallowed ground, and I don't play favorites. I rule by the letter of the law. I'm 5th District Judge Eileen Reardon, and I'm asking for your vote November 8th.
Paid for by the Committee-elect Judge Reardon, Steve McCutcheon, Treasurer.
I'm Judge Reardon, and I approve this message.
It's the matchup that the whole city waits for. This Friday night, your Roswell Coyotes square off against crosstown rivals, the Goddard Rockets. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and KSVPTV.com will be there for all the action. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame show beginning at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. Coyotes versus the Rockets of Goddard High. Friday night beginning at 6:45 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and online at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:19, and joining us in studio this morning, Chaves County Manager Bill Williams, back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm going to try not to sniffle or cough because all of a sudden my nose started running. I guess last night's wind or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the problem with when we get the winds and everything. It blows the dust.
It was a surprise. Yesterday was a wonderful day till about noon. Wasn't paying attention in the office. I stepped outside to go home. Where did this day come from?
Yeah. It kind of. And then I think we got a little rain last night.
I was surprised. I didn't know we got rain because when I went to sleep apparently, and I got up this morning, went out to my truck. Looks awfully wet. Walked over to the rain gauge. I had 0.3 of an inch.
Oh, wow. So we did pretty good.
I was really shocked.
Yeah, it was like when I left or got out the house this morning, and I could tell that the roads were wet, but it was still had dry patches. So I was like, well, maybe it's not. We didn't get as much rain as I thought.
The wind blew a little harder in those spots.
Yeah, probably. It tends to do that around here.
Well, the way the wind was blowing, maybe it rained in El Paso last night. It just landed here.
Yeah, that's right. It was started there. That's where the clouds were. But yeah, we'll take any moisture we get. We'll never complain about that.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, there's more sometime in our future here. But for folks that aren't familiar, Bill joins us each month, usually right after county commission meeting, and gives us the highlights from that meeting. And then if there's other things happening around the county to put on the public's radar, we use this time to do that too. So
and it's great. I mean, we try to push a lot of stuff into a a short time, but we actually cover it pretty well. And we've been pretty busy since the last time we spoke.
Yeah, yeah. There's been a lot that's going on here with the county and different things. So maybe we should dive in and just start talking about some of it.
Well, one of the things that doesn't have anything to do with the county commission meeting, and I'll come back to it, is I went to Clovis on Wednesday, and there was a Farm Bill roundtable. Senator Ben Ray Lujan called together a group of agriculturalists, and I was fortunate enough to be chosen to be on that panel, and we talked about things we'd like to see in the Farm Bill. So I hope that we have time to go into that a little bit. It was pretty interesting stuff, and I was really surrounded by a lot of really intelligent people.
Good deal. So, we'll try to make time and make sure that we don't leave that out.
I'll rush through everybody else. Everybody else, you're going to get the
you get the
minimum.
short treatment.
Yeah. Now, first thing that happened yesterday is Michaela Cormandy was crowned the Chaves County 4-H rodeo 4-H
the queen rodeo queen.
Again.
Awesome.
And she was the queen last year.
Oh, a two-timer.
She has really stepped up her game.
Nice.
And, they have a whole series of things they have to go to, interviews, and I don't know,
It's a
there's 6 or
gauntlet
7 things that they have to do, and she just learns to be better and better at it.
Great. Well, good deal. So defended her crown and won for a second year.
She did. And I'd also like to shout out to Roswell Livestock. Desiree Ratton brought the crown. They always provide the crown.
The keeper of the crowns.
And crown and the belt buckle, I think. I think they get a belt buckle later.
Is the king, or I don't know how does that work with the when get a belt buckle, the king, or is the queen always is just a
well,
queen?
The queen gets the crown, and she also gets I think she gets a buckle as well. So
there's ranching and rodeo, and
but they didn't have the buckle at the time. But they did have the crown ready to go.
COVID world,
and, man, pretty fancy, all the glitter and everything.
Nice.
On it. So, but congratulations to her and to her family again for working so hard to do that. It's not something you just decide, hey, I'm going to try to be the fair queen. I mean, there's a
lot of work and dedication.
A lot of work,
involved,
just like the kids that show animals. They work all year long for that few minutes of either fame or darn.
Yeah. Better luck next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, encourage all the kids that go to the fair and do that kind of thing. They do a great job.
Yeah.
And we really are glad to see them out there.
And it's glad to see the support from this year's fair too. I think that the livestock shows and everything else had great attendance for everything.
Right.
I know rain definitely helps steer people to more indoor activities, but it's great to see that a lot of eyeballs got to see a lot of fun stuff that wasn't just rides and the other reason people go to the fair.
My wife and I usually wait, and we go later in the week, and sometimes so late that all the animals are gone, and it frustrates me.
But dang, I wanted to see something.
But this year we went the first night, and I was really thankful we did, because then the rains hit.
Yeah, the rains hit after
Monday. It would have made it a little more difficult.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, back to the county commission meeting. Something else that we did after we gave Miss Cormandy her, it wasn't a proclamation, but a certificate of appreciation, I think is what we call it. We did do a proclamation for Dick Smith. Dick Smith is retiring, at the end of October.
Okay.
Dick has been with the Chaves County Flood Commission for almost 28 years.
Wow.
27 years, 7 months, 11 days, I think, when he retires.
So he's pushing 28 years as serving on that board.
And so we wanted to thank him for his service as the flood control superintendent within our county, and all the things that he's done to assure that we're safe and fight the fights he has to fight with the Corps of Engineers and everything.
Yeah.
Gave him a plaque for his retirement. But the thing that we don't think that he knew, we told him we were going to give him a proclamation and hand him his plaque. About 3 years ago, I guess, we built a new flood control building. It's out on Brown Road. So if you're out 2nd Street, as soon as you turn the corner on Brown Road, there's a large building there on the east side. That's the new Chaves County Flood Control building. And we passed, the commissioners passed a resolution yesterday naming that building the Richard T. Smith Building.
Oh, good.
For all his years of dedication to our community.
Very nice.
So that was a really neat thing. And all the people from flood control came out to see their boss get the award that he so much deserved.
Absolutely.
And that was a really neat thing. So much of the time we do business and kind of lose the personal touch, but yesterday was definitely a personal touch with Mr. Smith and Miss Cormandy both, kind of see both ends of the spectrum.
Sure.
Dick Smith, I believe, is 81 years old. So, I mean, he has been
I think he's
working,
ready to, he's earned his retirement.
And, he doesn't give up. He's still going to be around, too. So, we're looking forward to continuing to see him.
Retired in name only, for kind of.
Right. And replacing him is a young man by the name of Brian Hotelin.
Okay.
You tell me how to spell it, and we'll both know.
Okay.
So, but Brian is taking the reins. They hired him earlier this year as the assistant Chaves County flood control superintendent because they wanted to start preparing for the day when Dick retired. And Dick has been, giving him the fast track, and he'll be around too.
Good
also
deal.
to continue to show him what's going on.
Sure. So it's like even though there's a new person at the helm, the nothing, there should be zero drop off on what they do or anything like that.
That's
Nothing
right. I mean, Dick
there.
has a huge amount of knowledge that he carries around just in his head, not counting everything he's written down. So it's going to take anyone a while to figure out all that stuff. But Brian has deep ties to the community, and he's going to do well. And we look forward to taking that ride with him.
Well,
so
let's see. Maybe he'll be around till he's 81.
One of the things we did yesterday, again, like I say, sometimes our commission meetings are more cold business, and then other times they're more about the community and stuff. So
the human side.
The next thing we did was we passed a resolution for Operation. Boy, I'm having trouble talking this morning.
It's Friday.
Operation Greenlight for Veterans.
Okay.
And Operation Greenlight for Veterans is the National Association of Counties, and I assume some other organizations have asked that public buildings, and they've also asked that people do it in their homes and businesses too, light the buildings up green for returning veterans who are returning home from active duty. I believe they said there's about 200,000 veterans return to their communities every year, and it's just a way of thanking them. Something came up yesterday about being a Vietnam vet. Mike Espiritu was giving his monthly report to our meeting, and he mentioned that he was in the military during Vietnam time, and someone else mentioned that when the Vietnam veterans came home, of course, people reacted differently than they ever had to other veterans. So this Operation Greenlight is just a way for all of us in our communities to show the veterans that we appreciate their service, and we're here to help them transition back into life outside of the military.
Yeah.
Certainly they have a lot to offer, and we're very thankful for that.
Good deal.
Along with that, we're going to do a proclamation on November the 9th at lunchtime over at the Chaves County Courthouse.
Okay.
And we're trying not to horn in on everybody else's. There's a lot of stuff going on during Veterans Day and Veterans Day week, and we're going to light our buildings for the entire month of November so that people will recognize what we're doing, encourage everyone else to do it. But on the 9th, we're actually going to have a proclamation, and we're going to try to hand a copy of that proclamation out to a representative from each of the different branches of the military.
Nice.
Just a short service and letting them know Chaves County appreciates all that they do for us and have done for us. So
maybe
it's going to be cool.
Maybe we can get someone somewhere somehow to get a hold of a bunch of green light bulbs and maybe give them out during like Veterans Parade or something.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because they are available. I think they had some at Home Depot, but I'm not sure if they have any now.
Okay.
They just had a few, but they are available, readily available.
Okay.
But maybe we can talk Excel or someone into handing out green light bulbs. That'd be kind of cool.
I think it would be
idea.
good. I think it would be a good.
I'm gonna put that on the list.
Yeah, because
that's it. You're part of the team.
All right.
And I was looking at, you have a poster behind you, the Veterans Day Parade, Peace Through Strength, and there's a little, what do you call those?
The QR codes.
QR codes.
Yeah.
Where you can,
isn't that cool?
That's really neat. I'm reading through there, and there are a lot of actions that we don't really consider to be a campaign.
Sure.
But I see the invasion of Grenada on there. And the reason I remember that one is my brother is a Marine.
Okay.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
There is no such thing as was a Marine. You're a Marine. Yeah.
He's still a Marine, I guess, even though he hasn't been in quite some time.
Some Marines are rounder than others.
They were on their way to Grenada. Or Grenada.
Oh, he was part of that, the Grenada, he was en route to the campaign.
He was en route.
And got turned around?
No, their ship hit a log, he said in the middle. I remember him sending me a postcard. He said, believe it or not, out in the middle of the ocean, we hit a log. And it did some damage to the ship.
Okay.
And so they had to stop.
And get repair.
And repair the ship. And by the time they got the ship repaired, the war in Grenada was over.
They missed the war.
As you recall, that was a very short
Yeah. Well, some of those
engagement.
80s, Libya, some of those, and the different ones that they're on it. Yeah, they weren't the longest, but equally important.
Equally important, absolutely. And that's what's neat about that poster.
Yeah, the poster's
It
cool.
mentions so many things that we kind of take for granted and forgot about in a lot of those cases.
And then if you and each of those skirmishes that we're talking about here is a QR code. You scan it, and you'll find an information page about that event and all that took place. So not only is the poster functional in telling you about the parade, it's also giving you a little bit of history. So hopefully, I don't know who all has these posters. I just know we got one, and it's a very cool poster.
Well, I can't imagine the campaign ribbons for all these. I'm finally kind of familiar with Vietnam. I recognize the colors on that. But all these other ones, shoot, there's probably so few people that were involved in some of those that you may never see the colors.
I wonder how many, at least when I was in the Air Force, that's all points for promotion, by the way. So when you get medals and campaigns, that helps you towards promotion. When I don't know if it's the same now, but when I went through, like you automatically get rank up until you're going for staff sergeant. Like it's just time in service, and as long as you don't screw up, you're going to get your rank. But once you hit staff sergeant or trying to get staff sergeant, you have to take a test, and then they also accumulate your in essence your report card. It's called something different, but your track record of your reports, combine that with deployments, service medals, things like that. So put it this way: if you happen to get your Medal of Honor, you got a really good shot of getting promoted, because nobody gets that and most people that do get awarded that, it's after they've passed.
Yeah, posthumous.
Yeah, but and so they combine all that. So I'd be curious to see, like in the point system, like, oh, you got the Grenada cert? What's that? How many points that get you in promotion? Just curious, Probably not much now, because I'm sure there's not many people currently in the United States military that has that ribbon on their uniform.
Probably not.
And if they do, they're probably already a 4-star general or something that's sitting in the Pentagon.
Working that hard, they're probably probably making rules somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So another thing that we got to do yesterday, and I say got to do, is because this kind of came as a surprise over just the last few weeks. This has kind of taken shape. We approved a resolution to accept $7.86 million of CARES funding from the local, and I hope that I remember the acronym correctly, the Local Government Tribal Consistency Assistance Fund, I think it is.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
LTACH or something. As a local government.
Okay.
This was designed for governments who are already involved with the federal government, who've endured hardship as a result of governmental policies over the last 20 years.
That's pretty much the entire state of New Mexico.
So a lot of western states, as you're aware, have a lot of public lands.
Mm-hmm.
And public lands, rather than pay taxes, they pay a payment in lieu of taxes, or a PILT payment.
Mm-hmm.
Also in the western United States, well, actually there's some in the eastern United States as well, but there are forests, U.S. forests. U.S. forests have what they call Secure Rural Schools payments, SRS payments. And the problem with a lot of this stuff is they don't always fund PILT. And so over the years, we're expecting a revenue of so much in lieu of our taxes, which is already less than the tax would be if it were private property anyway.
Gotcha.
Then they decide not to fund it, or they fund it at a lesser amount, so we don't get it.
It's always the at the bottom of the hill there. They get funded. Everybody's taken by the time it gets down to the PILT. It's like, not much left. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We don't care that we have an agreement with you. We don't care that you're depending on this.
Yeah.
Some of the states in the West are, 90-some% federal lands, and how do
certainly
they even
New Mexico is?
How do they even exist? Well, Chaves County is 67% either state or federal lands in Chaves County. So that doesn't leave a whole lot of private land for the production of food, fiber, and minerals, which is what we're supposed to do. And then with the governmental regulations, that creates even more.
Between White Sands, the White Sands Missile Range and Holloman Air Force Base, that's half of the territory in southern New Mexico right there is federal government right there.
Right.
You don't realize how big Holloman Air Force Base and White Sands Missile Range, the territory of those are. They're huge on a map. It eats up a chunk of the state.
Well, and then we also have the secure rural schools. So they don't always fund SRS. I mean, might not fund it at all. And when they don't fund it, what do they do to make them whole? They take it out of the PILT payments. Well, Chaves County doesn't have very much forest, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
You know,
Wait a minute. You're not going to the woods this weekend in Roswell?
we cut ours all down and made boomerangs or something out of them. I don't know. But we have a very small amount of forest. So our Chaves County's SRS payment is something like $32,000 a year. Pretty insignificant. So if SRS isn't funded, it wouldn't kill us.
Right.
But
we're the exception, not the rule.
We're the exception, not the rule. They still take the full amount to fund SRS out of PILT for all these places in the West that and elsewhere that have forest. So that reduces the PILT by quite a bit. Well, that does hurt us. You know, even though our SRS payments paid in full like $32,000, our PILT payment might be reduced by $1 million.
So you're kind of like, hey, if we're going to get one or the other, I'll take the PILT over the SRS payment right now because that's actually going to benefit us.
And so that is a real life issue that has happened in Chaves County for the life of these things.
What really needs to happen is they need to higher prioritize the PILT payments. If they're making that agreement and they have that agreement and cities, counties, and municipalities are relying upon this stuff, and you know it. I mean, yes, Chaves County and we're pretty fortunate. We got some pretty smart cookies that keep us afloat. But you hear it every year of different cities or different counties where they're bankrupt and Santa Fe's got to come in and manage and, you know, and you're like, really? That's the pot calling the kettle black.
Our commissioners are very cautious about, okay, we have a revenue source coming in. We're going to get $1 million from the federal government.
Yeah.
So, well, let's not bank on that.
Yeah.
You know, so they're very cautious and they make sure that they never overestimate.
Yeah. Now, one could make an argument, well, they should have been better with their finance. Yes, they could. But at the same time, they're promised monies that they're not getting. And you can't create a budget on promised monies and not get it.
We want to make sure that we're solid every time, and we're very fortunate that we have commissioners that think that way. So there's been a big movement over the last several years because so much of the West is public lands. And back east, there's very little public lands, and that's where many of the lawmakers...
They all live up top of each other on the East Coast there,
and they don't care anything about this, but there's been a big movement to make sure that SRS is fully funded every year, PILT is fully funded, SRS payments are made, and this is all a part of that. So a few weeks ago, we got a notice that this had been done, and we have a gentleman that works with us in Washington by the name of Bob Widener, who keeps us in the loop. He's involved in a whole lot of stuff back east in Washington and throughout the West. And he contacted me and says, looks like you're going to get $3.93 million out of this deal. And we knew he'd been working on it, but we had no idea that we were close. 3.9, well, that's great.
Yeah.
So we have to go to the Treasury Department to sign in, and we knew that there was supposed to be a payment. As soon as you sign in, you'll get your first payment within a few days, and the second payment will come. And it sounds like it's probably actually going to come in the month of January, but sometime after January 23. But it sounds like everything that I've read, it will actually come that month.
Okay.
So I log onto the Treasury site to make sure that we're ready to receive. I got my hand out.
All our handwork, our paperwork's in order and ready to go.
And I knew that there were two payments. I thought that our total was $393.93 million. But that's the first payment. The second payment is $3.93 million.
Oh, wow.
So $7,860,454
almost $8 million
or something. You know, it's so that is really a boon.
Good.
And there are a few regulations on or restrictions on what we can spend it on, but it's not heavily restricted.
But it's got a lot of latitude. It's some strings, but not as many as one would expect.
But there are reporting requirements. And so we can hang on to this money for 5 years, 10 years.
Okay.
But in 10 years, if we use it 10 years, we have to do the reporting on it then. So we're going to have some discussions on how we're going to spend that, how we're going to put it in our budget. And there's a possibility we may just use it to pay general fund expenditures and then report that we used it to pay general fund expenditures, which then means that we didn't spend $8 million somewhere else and we don't have to report on that 10 years from now.
Gotcha.
It would make more sense to get the reporting requirement out of the way to make sure that we don't trip ourselves up at some point in the future. But I don't know. I mean, the
commission's got to decide on
commission has to decide. The finance committee,
here.
you know, they take everything into account, and there may be a reason they don't want to do that. But, but you know,
this is why they have the discussions in the committees, and then eventually to the
and they really immerse
commission.
themselves. Our finance committee is no different than the Senate Finance Committee in Washington.
Well,
I mean, they learn about what they need to know
and they
about
kind of
before
got
they
to
invest it.
because at the end of the day,
there's a lot of weight on their shoulders.
The county commissioners are making decisions, really, sometimes in some cases, solely based off that information they're giving them. So the people in that department, they definitely dot their I's and cross their T's, and when they present that information, it's like you can take that to the bank, and that's and I imagine that there is, because of that, that's what allows the county commission to make smart decisions, because they get good information from these committees and things like that. So it is yes, we elect the county commission, but they got to hire the right people to help them do their job right, and that's where Bill comes in, obviously. But
well, Bill is a very small part of it. We have a wonderful county staff that all know their jobs, and I'm just kind of like the guy in the circus ring that, all the people, all the acts, they're highly trained and educated and know exactly what they're going to do and exactly how to do it. Mm-hmm. And I just walk around with the top hat and try to, stand out front, I guess. But
hello, my baby.
We have a great staff, and I'm really proud to be able to represent them.
But they got to figure out what to do next year. So that's what they're going to do.
The thing that took the most time at yesterday's meeting, which I'm going to shrink down into a very small amount of time, we had a resolution opposing the Office of the State Engineer's plan to remove the Roswell Artesian Basin water right records, move them out of Chaves County. It's the only existing copy, the only complete record of water rights records for our basin, and they want to take them to Santa Fe, digitize, and abstract all these records.
Which I understand that's probably a smart idea, to have a backup.
That's not a bad thing. And we attended a meeting at the Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District earlier in the month. I think it's the first week in the month. And the consensus was they're not touching our records. I mean, people came from everywhere saying, we don't want our records to leave. We don't want that to happen.
Okay. So I can understand that, but at the same time, I can understand we probably want a backup some way.
We do need some sort of a backup. Yeah. And so we created, or I created a resolution. I took it out to Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District to make sure that I had hit on all the points that they wanted to hit on. And they said, since the meeting, we've had a few more discussions, and we may have a couple of other options, and we're not sure what direction we want to go. And so
it's kind of back to the drawing board on that one?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I took it to one of our commissioners who was advising me on this particular resolution, and that's kind of the way it works. Most resolutions have kind of a sponsor behind them. Not that all the commissioners may not be a part of it in some way, but because we don't want a quorum or anything, one or two might say, hey, I want you to take a look at doing this and see if we can present this at the next meeting. Or,
gotcha.
I don't just pick stuff out of the air, and people don't just say, hey, Bill, I want you to do this. It has to go through a process to get there. So I took it to the commissioner, and I said, do we pull it? Do we wait till they decide? He said, no, because there was such a group from the community, let's go ahead and present that publicly, and then we can debate it, and we can decide what needs to be done. So we had Aaron Ballack and some people from PVACD came to our meeting. Greg Alpers came with Aaron.
Okay.
And he got up and spoke as to the pros and the cons of moving the records, what the potential could be for losing them, what the potential would be for getting them back at the end of the process. And they have a work group together that's working with the Office of State Engineer to decide what they're willing to do and make sure that they understand our point of view. So we made all this very public because it's a very public thing.
Sure.
Water rights are very important to us.
What's the joke about
Valley.
Whiskey's for drinking, water's for fighting?
Water's for fighting, yeah. So we had a very public discussion about it. We tabled the resolution for now. May or may not come back. We'll have to see, what the Office of State Engineer and PVACD come together with. But we know that people are paying attention to what's going on there, and we want to be sure that anything that we do, we have records going back to the 1800s, here in Roswell. And a lot of times that record may have sticky notes on it or handwritten, something scrawled in the margin says, hey, you need to look at this water right or this. And so you start looking at your file and you say, wait a minute, I've got to go over here and grab this file and pull something out of it and put it down. Oh, well, now that says I got to go here. And you might have 6 files coming together.
Just for one thing.
And they did encourage everyone who has a water right in the Roswell Artesian Basin, which is the most complex basin in the state and maybe in the U.S. It's a very complex
it's a rival for that
thing,
huh?
And it's been going on for a long time. The record keeping and the legal ramifications of the water rights are very important. They encourage everyone that has a water right to go to the state engineer's office and make sure you get copies of everything pertaining to yours in case you ever need it. Then you'll have a copy.
Gotcha.
So, but anyway, that took quite a while because that's a very in-depth conversation. They addressed it well. Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District addressed it well. Our commissioners are very well versed on it. They had some good back and forth conversation, and we'll see where that goes in the future. So,
okay, very good.
But that took a while.
But more to come on that one, obviously. Yeah. So, but at least everyone's kind of on the page. Is like, hey, maybe we should think about having a backup for this in case, God forbid, something destroys our one set right now.
Right.
So.
And another thing that we did yesterday, of course, Chaves County is very in tune with endangered species and the overreach often of the federal government pertaining to endangered species and conservation.
That's a constant battle here.
It is a constant battle here. And again, I think it goes back to the point that in the West, there are a lot of public lands. In the East, there are a lot of private lands, and they don't understand the problems that they're laying on us whenever they start setting lands aside or reaching beyond their federal lands to restrict what you can do on your private lands.
It just meets an end game on a piece of paper for them, and so that's all. They don't see the impact that has in the actual physical world here. So
we're a member of the Arizona New Mexico Coalition of Counties, and our purpose in being in that coalition is to be on top of what's going on with any federal initiatives and the things that they do to us. So we decided to join the Arizona New Mexico Coalition of Counties in the preparation of an amicus brief about the Mexican wolf 10J rule.
Okay.
So an amicus brief is you're a friend of the court, and basically we're sending you this just to make sure that you understand there's a bunch of us that feel this way. We're not suing anybody. We're just letting you know the facts. And so we've decided to join that effort on the Mexican wolf and the 10J rule. What that is, 10J rule allows the rules to be circumvented. So a 10J rule says that you can have an experimental, non-essential population of, in this case, wolves. And they don't have to follow the same rules for those wolves as they do with the ones that are, genetically pure and placed in certain places. And
it's called a loophole.
It is absolutely a loophole. And what's funny about it is Fish and Wildlife, in a lot of times, they don't like it either because they can't shove certain things down your throat. But now, in this particular instance, they're wanting to use it, and they want to expand the wolf range. Instead of putting the wolves in their historic range and in the numbers that they've already negotiated and stuff, now they would like the wolves to be north of I-40. They would like the wolves to be in Texas. They'd like the wolves to be in Arizona, in California.
Yeah, we'll see how the people are warmed up to that reception.
And the problem is they don't have to follow the same rules. Well, these aren't officially endangered wolves. They're an experimental, non-essential population. And so we can maneuver through and find these gray areas and loopholes, like you say, to allow us to do things that are well beyond what we're allowed to do by law. And those are exactly the kind of fights that Chaves County fights every day with government entities.
This is why lawyers make a whole lot of money, because of that right there, semantics and language and laws and things.
And we understand the Mexican wolf, at least this week, isn't going to be located in Chaves County. But, we have a unified approach here. We've got their back, they've got ours. When it turns into something on the lizard, for instance, they're going to do the same thing for us.
It's that support network.
Yeah, it's a support network that we're all on the same page of music, and we're all singing the same song, and we want you to hear us,
And it does come with a lot of
We're
strength.
going to sing it loud and sing it proud.
Well, and that's just it. Without this, then they run roughshod over this.
Right.
And,
if it's one small group here, one small group there, it's no problem. We push them into the ditch and move on.
Yeah, one yelling voice in the night they don't care about. It's when they got 500 of them. And
another one of the fights that we're in right now is with the U.S. Forest Service has a plan to potentially make 203,000, as much as 203,000 acres of forest land in Eddy County, Otero County, Chaves County, and Lincoln County into wilderness area. And when they do that, there's currently grazing, mineral exploration, lots of things on those lands. But when they make a stroke of the pen and turn that into a wilderness area, and wilderness areas aren't good for hunting or fishing either, because you can't do anything on those areas.
You can't touch them. You can't. They just got to.
And with minimal amounts,
Sure.
there are small things that you can do there, but it's certainly not wide open space that you can do kind of what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to go do yoga and watch the checker spot butterfly fly by you, you can do that on public lands. But if it's a wilderness area, you may not be able to do that.
Yeah, you can't even do that.
And you certainly can't graze your cows. You can't do these things that we've coexist with the federal government on.
And by the way, we've
cases.
seen how other areas have been made wilderness areas and saw that it had a negative impact on the ecosystem, not a positive impact. So,
and then I told you I was going to try to get to this other.
Yeah, we got about 3-4 minutes here if we got time.
Quickly, we also approved an ITB invitation to bid for an asphalt distributor. The road department's been needing a new distributor, and we came up with one, so we got that.
Okay.
So Wednesday, I went to Clovis and sat on a Farm Bill roundtable.
Okay.
And I mentioned that at the beginning of the
Senator
Ben Ray Lujan was there, and essentially representing Chaves County and the Pecos Valley. I told him, there's certainly a lot more agriculturalists here that understand the issues better than I do, but there were groups of people from every industry having to do with agriculture, and I was the only county manager, so I felt a little out of place. I told him I've got a couple acres of hay and a couple of cows, but other than that, and that was actually an exaggeration. So,
but I got a whole county government to run, so there's that.
I said, certainly Chaves County agrees that anything we can do to help agriculturalists increase production, reduce regulations and red tape that prevent them from doing their jobs. And certainly anything we can do for our local dairies that are quickly becoming a thing of the past in Chaves County. Those are things that we're very concerned about. Crop insurance, those kind of things. But what Chaves County, I said, what I'm bringing to the table today is Chaves County government is very interested in what you intend to do with the Title II provisions within the Farm Bill. Because we do not want to see the Farm Bill become a political football talking about climate change. The Farm Bill is there to discuss farm problems and to come up with solutions for farm. And there's at least in some of the initial drafts, there's a lot of climate change propaganda in there, which we don't believe that's the right place for it.
Correct.
We believe that the land should be, as I've said before, used for the production of food, fiber, and minerals, and those are the kind of things that agriculture does. And we certainly are fans of the government having programs like CRP, the EQUIP program. Conservation easements are fine, but not in perpetuity. And that seems to be the big push now. They're doing a lot of the 30 by 30 land grab stuff. Executive Order 14,008 doesn't have any power of law, doesn't have any money behind it, but they're funneling monies from the CARES Act, Rescue Act, now the Farm Bill, into doing things like conservation easements in perpetuity. So if a farmer decides, well, that old spot over there by the river, I don't use a whole lot, so the federal government's offering me a huge amount of money for it, so I'm more than happy to lease that to him. It's still my land. But you can't use it for anything, so is it really your land, or is it a asset anymore, or is it a liability?
Yeah.
And we believe in programs that like 10-year program. A farmer can try it out. They want to offer him that much money, great. I'm going to try that out, and I'm going to see how it works. And then I find out, you put so many restrictions on me that now I can't even farm adjacent to it. But they don't find that out when they do it in perpetuity. And this has happened many times. They no longer have the chance to change it. And so now they've basically sold the whole farm for the price of this little strip of land through the middle. Said, make them 10-year periods. And there are lots of them that are in 10-year periods, conservation easements, CRP plans, that are a 10-year period. Try it out. If it works for your farm, re-enroll, do it again. But your grandkids aren't locked into something. And as the regulations build up, which they do. If it's in perpetuity, when you sign up, it may not be that big of a deal, but they continue to add things on. Next thing you know, there's buffer zones and everything else. We said that shouldn't be a part of the Farm Bill. Equip programs, we found this out through the Forest Service, when they turn lands into wilderness areas and an agriculturalist has accepted money from the Equip program, they have to pay those monies back if they turn that into a wilderness. So here they built all the infrastructure, but now because they can no longer graze their cattle on it, they have to pay the federal government back. So those are the kind of things that we spoke up about. And I know we're out of time, so I'm going to hush, but that's a good topic for any time you want to visit. We'll
maybe
talk
we can
more
devote
about
maybe a different time to come in and just kind of talk on some of this stuff. Because, and that's where the problems lie in many of our laws and things, is what they tack on and what, what's hidden in the between the lines here, and this is what we're talking
I was
about.
very happy to find out that Senator Lujan, as soon as the 30 by 30 was mentioned, he said that he had actually had conversations with the administration that he felt parts of that are wrong. He made the comment that this is a Western initiative because all the lands are in the West, which is one of the main things that we're making clear. He apparently is very aware of that. And maybe that'll make a big difference for us, because the people back east, there's so many that are in Congress that are making these rules that affect us in the West. And we've just got to make sure that we're heard.
Well, it's nice when our senators put on their New Mexico hat instead of their federal government hat. So it's kind of nice. So very good. Well, of course, if you miss any part, you can go back and check it out at the county's website here. And don't forget, they meet normally the third Thursday of the month at 9 a.m. at the county commission.
And we will meet the third Thursday of the month next month.
Yes.
We do have the event going on November the 9th on the courthouse lawn. I want to be sure invite people. And if you see Dick Smith, give him a pat on the back. Tell him good job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, good deal. Well, thank you, sir. We'll see you here next time. All right.
Great. Thank you.
All right. 8:57. Quick break before news. Don't go away.
Mark Ronchetti talks and talks a lot. Problem is, he lies and lies a lot, too. The ads about the governor letting killer Chris Beltran out early are flat out untrue. KOB-TV fact-checked Department of Corrections documents, and they called the ads, quote, inaccurate. They found that Corrections released Beltran after he completed his sentence because, quote, he served his time. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham had nothing to do with it. The truth is, Mark Ronchetti is exploiting a tragedy to get himself elected, not to protect us. He would roll back Michelle Lujan Grisham's heavy investment in beefing up our state police and local law enforcement. An independent study by a former state finance department secretary shows that the proposals on Ronchetti's own website would cut public safety, education, and health care by billions of dollars. Mark Ronchetti should never be governor. He'll make us less safe.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor. John runs with us. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 3 Series tractor with 0% APR for 72 months at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2316.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia or Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
You're invited to the annual Veterans Day Parade and Celebration, Saturday, November 12th, beginning at 9 a.m. on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn. Featuring guest speakers Sean Nicholson, music from Matt Miller and Tom Blake, and the laying of the wreaths by the Cub Scouts. The parade begins at 10 a.m. and moves north from the courthouse to the Wool Bowl. And enjoy special displays and food vendors after the parade in the Wool Bowl parking lot. To be a part of the event, contact Stephen Lee with the American Legion at 720-272-1455. Join us Saturday, November 12th, 9 a.m. on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn. Sponsored by Roswell Ford.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
This hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A newly released snapshot of the economy shows the fires of inflation burning red hot last month. The Commerce Department says that prices rose 6.2% in September from 12 months earlier. It was the same year-over-year gain as in August. A suspect is in custody in the severe beating of Paul Pelosi, the 82-year-old husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. A spokesman says the assailant broke into the Pelosi home in San Francisco early this morning. Nancy Pelosi was not there at the time. Paul Pelosi is now in the hospital, expected to make a full recovery, according to a spokesman. There's no word yet on a motive. Conservatives watching with cautious optimism now that Elon Musk has wrapped up his $44 billion purchase of Twitter. Among his first orders of business, firing Twitter's CEO, its CFO, and the chief counsel. Tech analyst Omar Akhtar says, buckle up for a wild ride.
There is a chance that one of the first things he'd like to do is bring back everybody that was banned or bring back everybody that was controversial. Certainly that's part of his MO. And that could happen with or without Elon Musk.
Among the highest profile figures banned from Twitter, former President Trump. 8 people found dead in a burning house in the Tulsa suburb of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
Early indications, according to officers on scene, confirm that they are investigating a homicide.
Broken Arrow police spokesman Ethan Hutchins telling KTUL it's going to take some time to sort this out.
It's a complex scene with a lot of moving parts in the state of the house, given the fire damage. So this remains under investigation. Police stress there's no danger to the public at large. Nice rally underway on Wall Street. The Dow's up close to 600 points. NASDAQ ahead, 176. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com. Code 3388. Enjoy.
China's largest city, Shanghai, ordering mass coronavirus testing on 1.3 million people.
The residents are to be confined to their homes, at least until results are known. The demand is an echo of measures ordered over the summer that led to a 2-month lockdown that devastated the local economy, prompting food shortages and rare confrontations between residents and the authorities. China's shown no sign of backing away from its hardline zero-COVID policy, since a major congress of the ruling Communist Party that concluded this week awarded authoritarian leader Xi Jinping a third 5-year term in power. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
At least 31 people are dead, 9 others missing. Flash floods and landslides set off by torrential rains that swamped the southern Philippines, trapping some residents on their rooftops. News and analysis at townhall.com. The taxman goes on a hiring spree.
The IRS says it has hired an additional 4,000 customer service representatives who are being trained to answer taxpayer questions during the 2023 tax filing season. It's part of the new hiring made possible when congressional Democrats gave the IRS an $80 billion boost through the flagship climate and healthcare laws signed this summer. It is meant to help rebuild an agency that hadn't seen additional funding in decades. The IRS is still working on how it will spend the extra $80 billion, but has emphasized that resources will be focused on improving customer service and scrutiny of high-income earners. Norman Hall, Washington.
Average prices for new and used vehicles have started easing just a bit from their record highs of late. Even so, average prices still running 30 to 50% above where they were back in early 2020. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelation, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
It was the weirdest thing. I could hear myself when I was saying the thing I was saying. I was like, is my mic on? So
Yeah.
I had to look and make sure it wasn't.
Yeah.
Or I said the completely not safe for radio thing I said.
Happy Friday, everybody.
We're good. We're still good.
It's a Friday kind of feeling.
Oh.
Happy Friday.
Love it.
Hey, the sun's out.
Sun's out, guns out.
Clouds have burnt off.
Yeah.
And we are dealing with the sunshine and the wind.
And the wind.
Yeah, the wind is a whipping.
Yep.
And it will be today. Although, allegedly, they say the winds will decrease this afternoon, not increase.
Nice.
So this is the worst of the winds right now.
Yeah.
It only gets better from here, allegedly.
Allegedly. I got to ask you a question.
Me?
Yes, you.
Go for it.
Yes, you.
Me?
This has been something that's sort of like just kind of in the back of my mind for a while. Why do you call that tree outside the weed tree?
Oh, I thought you knew this.
I did not. I do not know the origin story of the weed tree.
All right, well, let me tell you.
And you know what triggered my head? Every single time I crack open a beverage on air,
Uh-huh.
you are always so quick to point out the fact that it is a non-alcoholic soda that I'm cracking on the air for the radio audience. And yet you have no problem calling that the weed tree for several years with no context.
All right, well, I will. First off, Roy, our guests are here. Would you, I have to use the inter-office intercom system. Roy, Mr. Royster, we got Roybert. We have our guests are downstairs waiting to be let in. Por favor.
Indeed.
I call that the weed tree because when we first moved here into this office, that tree was out my window, but it was less mature than it is now, and the bark and everything on it was green. It looked like a big 12, 18-foot weed.
Okay.
And so I called it the weed tree.
I see.
And for years, that's what I called it. And then Sandra Barraza, who at the time was the ag agent for the Chavez County Extension Office, I said, what's the deal with my weed tree? And why does it look like a weed? And then she kind of educated me on the type, the breath of life tree or whatever it's called, or something God, or it's got a very important name, like it's, something.
It's actually called the Donda tree.
But now it's more mature.
Yeah.
It's got brown bark, so it looks more like a tree. But 5 years ago, that tree looked like a weed.
Okay.
And so, but to this day, I call it my weed. It's an elm. It's like it's a breath of life. Or I thought it was an elm tree, to be honest, because you know how elm trees are like weeds around here. They just kind of show up on the side of your house, and I just kind of figured, based on that tree wedged between these two buildings. Pretty sure that one blew in the wind and just laid there, and now we got a tree. That makes a lot more sense. No, I'll tell you, it was a weird wormhole that I went down. I was getting out of my car at lunch the other day, and I looked up and I saw what I think is Matt's window, like the fourth floor, I think. Yeah,
and it's like that's like right where the top of the tree is. I'm like, I wonder what it's like to have a window that faces
Tree of Heaven. That's what it is.
Thank you. I was like, I wonder what it's like to have a window like right outside the top of that tree.
Okay.
And then I was like, I wonder why Mike calls it a weed tree. How come he always corrects every time I open a beverage on the radio that it's a soda and not like a beer or something at 9 a.m. But he calls that thing a weed tree with no context. So it was a weird wormhole that I went down, and I needed to scratch that itch.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes. Thank you to Mr. Bill Williams. He remembered Tree of Heaven.
Ooh, I like that.
And he was the one who nailed it. So thank you to him. But yeah, that's the story behind.
He's out in the county. He's paid to know tree designations.
Well, now that he's left the studio, he's out on patrol.
That's right.
So
looking for more trees to designate.
Actually, in all fairness, I think he's got a little Halloween fun event with some kids at the county building. He's got to get to. So he's got his morning's going to the kids. So.
Dude, I have a confession to make.
Uh-oh.
I have.
Is it criminal in nature?
No,
Oh, okay.
Of course not.
Oh, okay.
I have no candy.
You're candyless?
I am candyless.
Okay. So what are you going to do about it?
I'm not sure if I'm going to be home on Halloween for trick-or-treat. I might have to avoid my house like the plague. But if I plan on being in my domicile at any point in time with the neighbor kids that I know are coming, I'm going to have to get some.
Okay.
I just had that revelation wash over me. Like, I don't have any candy.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to be giving out boxes of macaroni and cheese.
I had this debate last night with my wife because, we got a Saturday shindig.
Yeah.
But actual Halloween, I don't think we're going anywhere. I think we're home.
Yeah.
Unless we decide to go out to dinner, although I'm thinking we're going to do that Sunday. But anyway, for her birthday. Mm-hmm. But generally, we're not home for Halloween. And we have never been in our domicile we've been about 5 years now we lived in the house we're in. And in that 5 years, we've never been home for Halloween. We've always been at a friend's house or it's Kim's birthday and we're doing something else.
Right.
And so we may be there for this one. And I asked her, I said, should we get a bag of candy? Because I don't, and let's face it, where I live. Mm-hmm. You know kind of how it's set up.
That's the thing is you have to be looking. The only scenario where I see a kid coming to your house is if they're staying with grandma or visiting grandma and they were in the neighborhood. And they're like, oh, just go right to the houses.
Yeah.
I don't know why I gave them that accent.
So in all fairness, I don't think anybody's coming.
Right.
But I've never been there to see if someone's ever knocked on our door or anything. Mm-hmm. So I don't know the proper.
Because I feel like your neighborhood isn't one of those that parents would be like, ooh, let's try that neighborhood.
So what I think I'm going to do.
Because I swear, here's why I say that. I am looking for the turn into your house, and half the time I miss it. Half the time I have to turn around in the parking lot next door.
Well,
you have to be intentionally looking for the turn into your place to turn in there.
Yeah, and in all fairness, like when we get food delivered, 9 times out of 10 they get equally lost trying to get to our place. So I don't think any kids are going to show up on Monday to my house. But and my wife agrees with that, but I'm going to pretend like I'm a Boy Scout and be prepared and say we're going to get a bag of candy anyway, fully knowing that I'm going to pick a bag of candy that I like, thinking that I'm going to be the one that has to eat all of said candy because no kids will come to our house.
That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking, I'm going to
it is my obligation.
I'm going to get myself like a big bag of the mini paydays.
Yeah.
Because number one, I know that no kid on the planet likes a payday bar. But number two, it's like my favorite now.
Oh.
Recently, it has become my favorite.
What about, how do you feel about the chocolate payday?
You know what? I tried it the other day. I don't like it. Okay. If I wanted the chocolate payday, I would eat a Baby Ruth.
Yeah, but there's more nuts.
But you don't want to be the jerk that doesn't have candy when somebody comes.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't want any egging of my house or nothing.
I don't think that happens anymore so much. I mean, there might be like an outlier or two kid, but you don't really see pranking on Halloween anymore. Plus, eggs and toilet paper are really expensive
You're not
now.
in my neighborhood.
Fair enough.
There's a fine line between pranking and decorating.
Bear in mind, I live in a trailer park, all right? There's not a whole lot you can do to drag down the value of my home.
He's like, it's like they mess with the house, but I don't think he's going to notice.
That's accurate, right?
Sean, you have a point.
But there was some movie where they were going to trash somebody's house. He's like, we're going to send him a message. He's like, I don't think he's going to get that message, Bob. I don't remember what movie it was, but it's kind of like that. So
sounds like a European vacation.
Was it not another teen movie? She goes, how did you get in here? He goes, there's a hole in the side of your house.
Oh.
But, yeah, so I think that's the move, and I will get a bag, in case.
Mm-hmm.
And then eat the whole thing myself.
Or you know what? We could just give you some candy because we have enough candy to supply all of Roswell.
I know that's true, but I got a feeling you're going to be empty-handed after Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Let's hope.
I got a feeling you're going to be empty-handed after.
Well, if not,
last
the
year
buyback
we
programs.
did not give away all of our candy last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had to roll it over onto the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that we
Nice. You hear that, kids? They didn't run out of candy last year. It means you better be at First United Methodist Church here Saturday
We got
afternoon.
about 3,500 pieces of candy to give away.
Yeah.
So
I feel bad for the
Game
poor
on.
son of a gun that had to count all that. It was like one.
That's what
Somebody
they're-
comes in, it's like
that's what they were doing
Jim.
last night.
Like, oh,
they were
dang it! I
they
gotta
were
restart.
they were printed on the bags.
There you go. That makes
totally cheated.
That makes much more sense.
I was about to say, so I know you guys did candy sorting and packaging last night.
Yes, we did.
And there's still 3,500 pieces of candy?
At least.
Not down to like 3,450?
No, you got to understand. No, you got to understand that there was some sampling that went on.
Of course.
However, we had one of our members bring in enough candy to replace every piece that was tested.
But you had to test that too, so.
Grace brought
we're
in a
good.
metric buttload of it.
Yeah, we did have
Earlier
a
this
We
week.
had to
bring
keep
a
the
bunch.
scouts away from that room, because they have to come.
Yeah,
and
you might
work.
lose scouts after the parents say, yeah, we gave a bunch of candy and sent them home to you. Good luck.
Yeah. We'll give them a latte and a puppy, too.
Right. Very good. Of course, if you're listening there, Jen and Lee with American Legion Post 61 family will be joining us here in just a few minutes. And we got a lot to talk about, but the big event will be tomorrow night's Halloween event that's happening at First United Methodist. I say tomorrow afternoon's Halloween
1
event
to 5,
happening
yeah.
at First United Methodist Church. But we'll spend a few minutes reminding people about Veterans Day and everything else, too, here. We actually had Roswell Ford on this morning kind of talking about their service department and everything, but they kind of gave some plugs and everything, talking about Veterans Day as well, too. So
Good.
they're excited. Matter of fact,
I only heard your second hour. I didn't hear your
oh, yeah,
first hour.
Eric from Roswell Ford was on the first hour, and then we were talking about that. And I told him, I said, after you're done with the speeches and everything at 9 a.m. on the court, just book it, and you can get a good spot right in front of Roswell Ford to watch the rest of the parade right there and kick back. And I was like, I go into car dealerships all the time. There's always tons of food and coffee and things in there. So I'm just saying you might score free food while you're watching the parade over there.
Take advantage of it.
And if you're a veteran and you walk in with, kind of, I'm a vet, I bet they'll give you, they might work a deal for a car and give you a, no, I'm just kidding. They won't give you a car, but they'll hook you up. And don't forget, they offer discounts for service and all kinds of stuff there too. So one of many of our businesses and organizations in the community that support veterans. So I'll throw that out there real quick.
And the
too.
free cars, awesome.
Yeah.
You just announced free cars.
No, I think Eric's going to.
Little toy cars.
Yeah.
Probably a Hot Wheel.
I feel like Eric's going to get mad if I tell people that.
Could be. Just thinking that might be against his business
Yeah,
model.
he might, inventory's limited, but I'll give it to you, whatever I got.
That's right. Yeah. Since Mike said it's okay, he's going to get the bill.
Yeah, and then when I got Mr. Crumlin knocking on my door, then I know I'm in trouble.
You don't want that.
But, so we're going to talk Halloween, and we'll touch a little bit on Veterans Parade here, too. So that's coming up in just a bit. Sean just said I'm out. He does have another show to do, so maybe, he's like, I'm done
He
with
actually
you.
works there?
Allegedly.
Okay.
Yes. He does.
I sent him a text the other day. He never did
Well,
respond.
allegedly as much as I work, at least.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, it is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We had that cold front move through yesterday, and now we have high pressure back over our area, so things look good. It'll be cool today with our afternoon high staying at around 60, and it could be very windy with gusts of 25 to 45 miles per hour. Watch out for some blowing dust. Overnight, partly cloudy, and our low in the upper 30s, upper 60s, and sunny on Saturday, and not as windy, fair Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
And thank you, Steve. Currently 52 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 53%. Winds out of the north at the moment, 17 miles per hour. Mostly sunny today as the clouds have officially burned off. It looked kind of ominous when it started the show, but pretty nice now. But we will hit a high of 62 is what they say. Winds are actually the windiest now, out of the north 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. But later in the afternoon, they're going to decrease down to 10 to 15. So it's windier now than it will be later today, which is kind of weird, but not complaining. Tonight, if you're going to head out to the Wool Bowl for the big Roswell Goddard football matchup, might want to bring a coat. We looked online yesterday, and they said game time temp about 55. So, and then it'll probably be in the 40s by the time you pack up and head home tonight from the Wool Bowl. So light coat or light to heavy, depending on how thick your skin is. But you could see some patchy fog overnight around 3 in the morning, but mostly clear otherwise with an overnight low of 38. Winds will be out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday turning out to be a pretty nice day on Saturday. Good for some carnival trick or trunking. I don't know what you call that. Carnival walk-throughing. But for Saturday, sunny skies, a high of 66. Winds will be out of the north, 5 to 10. Saturday night, mostly clear, overnight low of 39 with southeast winds 5 to 10. And then Sunday, mostly sunny, highs back near 70. Winds out of the northwest at around 5 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 42 Sunday night. And then Monday, sunny, highs near 70, 43 Sunday night, or Monday night. So if you're going to go out trick-or-treating, again, thicker costumes might be in order as you get, the later you trick-or-treat, the thicker your costume should be. All right, it is 9:21. We're going to take a 4-minute break. Let's see. Only 2 political ads in this one. So a 2 political ad break, and the rest are not political. And then we'll be back with American Legion Post 61. Don't go away.
I'm here with Freddie Sosa, sales manager at Richland Motors. I heard that supply numbers are changing. What do you think, Freddie?
Well, Mike, I could talk about the 70 used cars and the 30 new cars that we have on our lot. But the number I can't get out of my head is 756. That's how many vehicles we have sold so far in 2022. Thank you to Roswell and our surrounding communities in what was supposed to be a pandemic. So on behalf of myself, Travis Hicks, and the rest of the Richland Motors staff, thank you for choosing to ride for our brand, Richland Motors.
See the folks at Richland today, 2601 West 2nd, Roswell.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency.
This is a call to action. I'm Michelle Garcia Holmes, and I'm running for United States Congress. There's so much at stake this election cycle. The life of the unborn, your safety, the cost of living, and most of all, our religious freedom. I'm calling on every Christian from every church to step out of the pews and go to the polls and cast your vote. I ask for your vote. Send a woman of faith to Washington that will protect and stand strong for our values.
Paid for by Garcia Holmes for Congress.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and early detection saves lives. Take care of yourself by staying up to date on your mammograms at Artesia General Hospital. Their 3D mammography brings you the most accurate technology with your comfort and convenience in mind. Appointments average just 15 minutes. If you're a woman over age 40, you don't need a doctor's referral to schedule a mammogram. Remember, early detection saves lives. Request your appointment today at artesiageneral.com/mammogram.
Uplift New Mexico's economy and its colleges and universities by voting for Go Bond 3. Without raising your tax rates, Bond 3 will create 2,000 new jobs in 22 cities. Bond 3 will fund upgrades and improvements and advance education in healthcare, arts, technology, and trades. This fall, invest in our future. Vote for the bond that creates jobs and economic development. Visit bond3fornm.com. Paid for by the Go Bonds for Education Committee. Dr. Stephen Gamble and Ronnie Birdsong co-chairs.
American Legion Post 61 invites you to their 3rd annual Halloween Carnival walkthrough event. It's bigger and better than ever. Join us in the parking lot of First United Methodist Church, 200 North Pennsylvania in Roswell, this Saturday between 1 and 5 p.m. Enjoy spooky family fun with pumpkins, ghosts, goblins, and ghouls. And if you make it to the end, yummy candy awaits you on the other side. Cost is just a donation to Post 61, but is not required to enjoy all of the fun. Celebrate Halloween this year with American Legion Post 61 this Saturday, if you dare.
I'm State Representative Greg Nybert. New Mexico ranks 50th in child well-being, and this statistic is not acceptable. Too often we see in the news where a child taken into state custody is returned to an abusive situation only to suffer more abuse, sometimes resulting in death. Chavez County is not immune. Chaves County CASA and its staff and volunteers understand the system and where things go wrong. I have met with CASA to understand how we need to create a better system of caring for abused and neglected children and to break the cycle of abuse. I listen to local experts and then engage the state agency at the highest levels. I will support legislation to bring about positive change. I ask for you to vote for me, Greg Nybert, to allow me to continue to be your effective conservative voice in Santa Fe. Voting begins on October 11th and Election Day is November 8th. Please vote Greg Nybert for State Representative District 59.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Representative, Richard Taylor, Treasurer.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 26 minutes after 9 o'clock, and officially now joining us in studio from the American Legion Post 61 family, we have Stephen Lee, Commander, and Auxiliary President Jen with us as well. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How's everything going in y'all's world right now?
Pretty good. Crazy busy. This last month has been a little nuts.
It has been busy, and
I look forward to my December. Because then I can take a break until basically February sometime.
Oh, nice.
Well,
so
that's only after
down.
we're busy with the stockings and the wreaths across America, so it's not till January.
There's a couple of events in December that do get a little busy.
We'll talk about those.
We'll talk about those at a later date. But today we want to focus on tomorrow.
Halloween.
Yes, this will be the third annual event for the American Legion Post 61 family. There is a new twist this year because this is our first one post-COVID.
Right.
And so the last couple of years we've been doing it as a drive-through. You kind of stay in your car.
But everybody copied us.
Yeah. What is it? Mockery or what is it?
Imitation
is the best form of flattery. Yeah. Not mockery. That's not how it works. But anyway.
Sorry, I knew what you meant.
It had a whole different connotation. But anyway, it was a drive-through event where people stayed in their cars, and don't get me wrong, they used a lot of Mr. Wizard technology to shoot candy in your vehicle and all that. But
they tried to. But I will say that technology failed.
Yeah, it didn't work out so well.
You know, some of our A-Team projects work, some of the A-Team projects don't work. You know?
Yeah.
If you ever watched A-Team, they always had a project every episode.
There's always a build segment where they're.
And at least 2 car flips.
Yes.
It has to be 2 car flips per show, and the guy, Mr. T, is always welding something.
That's right. Yeah, there's always welding, and there's
It's got to make any car into a tank. I mean, one episode they made like one of those little Fiats into a tank, and it's like.
I remember they made a cannon out of lettuce, it was a cannon that shot lettuce or something. Yeah.
Well, the cannon that we tried to make a couple years ago was supposed to be for candy, but the chute didn't work, so we ended up handing it to them.
Yeah. Oh well. But this year is a little different. Car only needed to get there.
Right. This time you park
unless you
the
live
car.
nearby, then
we
you get
will
there
have
and park.
parking in the parking lot.
Yes. So plenty of parking in the parking lot, but. We want to get you to come out and walk around with us and come and play the games and enjoy the
And I
candy.
will tell you that the walk through haunted house is top secret. They won't even tell us what's in it.
Yeah, but say it's like it's a need to know basis, and if you don't need to know,
doesn't need to know
exactly.
They wanted it to be a surprise. They've been so excited about it all year.
I've asked several times.
I hear that they think leadership is loose lips. That's what it is. So leadership's got loose lips.
Is that what you heard?
That's what I
We're
heard.
just trying to promote the event. Jeez.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with my minions.
Loose lips.
But I am bringing my dog.
Very good.
Yeah, he doesn't have any guts.
Well, he doesn't need any bones.
Yeah, and he howls.
This
You
is
got
the
to press
first
the
dog.
button to make it
Got to
work.
push a button.
Yeah.
First dog that has its own bones.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. You got it.
It buries itself.
Right?
It buries itself. Oh my God. And I named it Ivan after a previous husky of mine.
Oh, okay. So there is a bit of a family history to the Bones dog.
Figure Ivan's back.
But it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be it's going to be spooky fun, but not over the top
Well,
crazy.
if it's not fun, tell everybody it was.
There you go.
So
But it's not. There are going to be people running out of the woods with chainsaws and things like that.
No,
none of that.
We have a mandate as American Legion. We're not going to make it that scary. I mean, it'll be scary probably for the younger set.
Yeah.
But anybody.
We might ask you to touch weird things.
Nah, I don't even think we're doing that.
I don't know. They may be doing grapes as eyeballs and all that kind of stuff. But you don't have to touch it if you don't want to.
All we want to do is you come out, have some fun, spend some time, come in costume if you want. If you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't
just
have
come out.
To, but hey, you might get extra candy.
You could. I'm just saying, you come celebratory and come in the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You get rewarded with candy and things.
Well, here's the thing: we have carnival games. And
yes.
if you win any of the carnival games, you get full size.
Yeah, you get the big candies. And not like Sean's little suggestion earlier, where he's like, get the big ones, but get the bad candies. No, it's the good ones.
Yeah, you got like Starburst and Skittles. And
is that what Pat was doing? Is Pat the big bar candy person?
No.
Okay.
No, Jen and I bought it.
Okay, because I knew Pat was donating a bunch too, so I didn't know if that was part of her.
Mostly non-chocolate candy is what she bought.
Okay. Yeah, which was good because we had a lot of chocolate. We needed some balancing for those that can't
That means
eat chocolate.
nothing to me because as far as I'm concerned, there's chocolate and everything else is a cheap imitation. That's just me.
I don't know. I like the fruity flavors and caramel. Caramel's good.
Skimp.
Yeah. Caramel's good with chocolate.
We get the good stuff. We don't get the we don't get the cheap stuff.
Yeah. Well, we got we got some very generous donators that donated some candy, and then we went and got some ourselves here to kind of offset that.
Yeah, we got about $100 of candy donated total.
Thank you to those people.
Was it Albertsons West?
Yeah, the one over on 2nd Street.
Helped us out, and then of course Pat, she always donates.
And of course your listener donated
Our
some
listener
as well.
Grace donated 2.5 ginormous bags of candy.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Thank you very
even
much.
after the sampling that went on last night, we still have about 3,500 pieces.
There is that same rule, much like your parents when you went trick-or-treating and said, I got to inspect all your candy.
Right. And we have to make sure that it's up to snuff. We don't want to give
M&Ms
away.
Look a little tainted to me. I better take those. That Snickers looks a little tainted to me. I better take that. Yeah. That Reese cup looks a little tainted to me. I better take that. Never noticed it's never the Smarties or the Dum Dums or anything.
Yeah, I did notice that as a kid. I did. Yeah, it's like, Mom.
I saw lots of Laffy Taffy and Dots and
all kinds of things.
Of course, then
Milk
all your
Duds.
traditional chocolates, your Snickers, your Milky Way, your
Kit
Three
Kats.
Musketeers,
Yeah.
Kit Kats, Rolos.
So we got plenty of that for you Saturday.
Even
Yeah, come early though, because
Reese's,
when the candy's gone, it's gone, folks.
It is first come, first eat or serve.
Yes.
Whatever you want to do it.
I don't know why anybody ever thought about putting peanut butter with chocolate. That's just
not your thing.
No, there's something wrong with that.
Well, you're gonna find a lot of people
There's
disagreeing.
like pineapple on pizza, people. And
Hey, both
all
of those
that.
things are good. Probably not together though.
To be honest, I was a anti-pineapple pizza person.
I still am. Yeah.
In my older years now, I've changed.
You've
changed
went to the
stance.
dark
See, you
side.
come over to the dark side.
There's something wrong with you.
I enjoy.
I've always
good,
known there was something wrong.
Wow, there's a lot wrong with me. It's debatable. But Canadian bacon and pineapple together is it good? And
might as well put anchovies on there.
Well, yeah, I don't know about anchovies.
Anchovies. Well, the problem with anchovies, once they're on, they're on. You take them off, it still smells and tastes like anchovies.
It's true.
It does not go away.
This is the
They're
same
very
true
pungent.
for other allergies as well.
Yeah.
Like for me, you can't just pick the onions off. It'll still kill me.
I like onions. I don't like them in eggs or pizza. Those are the two things I don't like them in because
Well, I figure so long as they're cooked, they're okay.
Yeah.
But most of the time,
But
especially
a lot
eggs,
of times,
they're still crunchy.
Yeah, the eggs and the pizza seems to absorb some more of that onion flavor
Very oniony,
than
yeah.
other products do. So I generally don't like those in those things. But I'll eat them on anything.
So
else.
what was this thing about the green light stuff?
Oh yeah. I was talking with the county manager here, and he was saying that they've adopted it where they're to honor veterans. They're asking for people to put the green lights out in front of their house.
So is he gonna give it away at the parade? Or?
Well, I might have got a ball rolling and see what they're going to be doing about that. I brought up an idea on the radio, and he liked it and said, "Let's look into that." So maybe something
Well, I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea. I hope.
As the primary organizer of the parade, I will give him my blessing. I think anything that supports vets is a good idea.
Yeah, so. But because I know, and of course, people can go out and buy their own green bulbs and things, but I don't know how easily
I wouldn't
Not
know
that
where
I'm
to
out and
find
shopping
a
for
green
green
one.
light bulbs, but I don't know how easy they. Like, you just go to a hardware store and pick one up pretty easily.
I've seen them at
Yes.
Home Depot.
Maybe
Yeah.
if like you do like an LED thing, you could wrap
Yeah,
it in
you're a little more
cellophane
high-tech
or
with it.
something.
But LED's mostly blue.
But I've seen the blue ones, and they usually put like it's usually just a regular light bulb with like a blue hue coating on it or something.
Yeah.
Like
I
the
imagine
black
there's a-
lights are the same way.
Yeah, I'm guessing there's a green version as well, like
Probably.
that. So, but yeah, maybe, who knows? I imagine Bill Williams is going to look into that, and I don't know if they'll get it ready for our Veterans Day here, but maybe something in the future, if not that. So.
Well, speaking of Veterans Day Parade, I just received the most lovely email.
Oh, good.
From New Mexico Department of Transportation. They finally granted us our permit.
So it's official now.
It's official that I have the state permit, and now I'm going to turn around and send that over to Parks and Rec, and
So
they should approve that one too, because we had a little sit-in with the mayor yesterday, and trying to get the.
Yeah, it's taken a Herculean effort this year.
Long.
Gotcha.
We started working on this in May, and it's literally been this week that we finally
2 weeks before, 3 weeks before the event.
Yeah.
Before
yeah, it's exactly 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks to tomorrow.
In one day, yeah. 15
2 weeks
days.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is one of the reasons we took the spot here today instead of Wednesday. We swapped with
Yes, with our students from Nancy Lopez. They came in. That was fun. By the way, Tanner and those guys did a nice video that I don't know if it's going to show up on one of our websites, but I saw it this morning, and they did a good job. Just like a video for the school and their kids and parents and everything.
I think I've heard it.
Yeah, and it's real nice. But anyway, so before you talk veterans here, I kind of want to finish up.
Okay.
The Halloween event will be this Saturday, First United Methodist Church, from 1 until 5 p.m.
Right. Please don't show up early because we're still building.
Yes, they're going to be right up to go time to be building and everything.
We're going to start at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I think tonight,
gonna do a little
Rodney from Roswell Livestock is going to be over there setting up some of the infrastructure tonight.
Okay.
And then tomorrow,
the finishing touches tomorrow.
We'll be setting all the booths up and everything, and all the carnival games. Now we're going to be receiving some help from some of the youth at First United Methodist, as well as our scouts.
Oh, nice.
Will be helping us.
So there is some young backs to help out here.
Yeah, I'm hoping they'll be the ones running for the beanbags and the ball for the game, because
that'll work.
Let them expend all that sugar energy, and I can stand there.
I love
and
it.
Good
Absolutely.
job.
Good at retrieving things.
Right.
But we'd love now. It's completely free. We are asking for a donation.
Yeah.
If you can spare it.
But
if you got $1, that's great.
But if you don't have it, don't feel obligated.
No.
Come on and enjoy it. Have a good
It's
time.
our chance to give back to the community.
Sure.
To
Right.
say thank you for your support and
But
come bring your kids to a safe, fun place.
Stingy at all, but it does cost money.
Yes.
It does.
To do these things for the community.
And-
so
and when you
any
donate-
remuneration, we can get help.
Yeah, if $1, $5, $100,
yeah.
anything you can get.
$1,000,
$1 million, whatever you got.
Hey,
laying
yeah.
around in your couches. but know that we use that money, and if you've listened to us on the show here any numerous times, that money goes back to our scouting program, goes back to memory lawn stuff, goes back to
One of the biggest things we got to push right now is Wreaths Across America.
Wreaths Across America is another
that's
one.
coming up really
supports.
fast. It's $15 per wreath, but we really need to
The
get that
deadlines
going.
to get your wreaths ordered and all that are coming up quick.
End
here,
of
so,
November.
Yeah.
So-
We're I know that sounds like a lot of time, but it really isn't. So and with Thanksgiving in the mix, you're already that's like 2 weeks of your month
And
that
I'm
you're already
putting
gonna be
out a
out the
call
window.
for desperation because we have to date 3 wreaths sponsored.
Okay. So we'd like to
and
get
we
more of
need
that.
300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Post here is going to buy some. The
Sure.
Auxiliary will buy some.
Of course.
And even Post 28 will buy some. Maybe even the VFW. However,
We want
we
other
need-
than our veteran civic organizations buying wreaths for our
we need the
vets
help.
out there.
We really do. And you can help us out in 2 ways. You can either give me the money. It's just a pass through, though. I give it directly to Wreaths
Right.
Across America.
That money's not ours
I keep
in any-
none of it.
Yeah.
Or you can go to my website, roswelllegion.org, and in the top part, just below the announcements for the scholarship, there's a link to our Wreaths Across America page.
Okay.
And you can donate right there and go directly to Wreaths Across America. I never see the dime. So either way,
Whatever is
helps
convenient for you helps
Right.
and gets those wreaths. Because ideally, like you said, 300, and that's our goal because we want. And to be honest, we could use even more than that. I mean,
that's just the 300 is just at memory lawn.
Yeah.
That's just one cemetery.
Yeah.
Anything more than 300, then we're covering McBride. We're covering South Park.
Yeah, and they've got an additional, how many graves over there?
Like 3,000
Yeah,
or
it's
more.
in the thousands
It's
over there.
crazy.
I knew that. So, we've kind of adopted memory lawn, the forgotten cemetery, and we're bringing it. But there's still close to 300 veterans that call that patch of earth.
297 at the moment. We say 300 because we put a couple of wreaths down at Chavez County Courthouse and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do. A good problem to have is we got 400, because then we're going to go down to McBride and throw some more out.
Oh, yeah,
there.
that'd be a terrible problem.
Yeah. So please support. We always talk about our veterans, and we say never forget. This is exactly Wreaths Across America is exactly.
That's what it is.
Is never
you're
forgetting.
paying tribute to the veterans and their service, but you're also providing an opportunity for the kids, because Wreaths Across America is an organization that's year-round. It's not just in December.
Sure.
They do education and all kinds of things for our youth as well. So their mission and the American Legion's go really well together. That's why we help them out as much as
we'll
we
be
can.
calling all the homes and stuff around here.
Okay, the nursing homes.
Yeah,
Senior
and that
citizens,
sort of thing.
yeah.
But
Senior
if
living.
you're in a nursing home and you are a veteran and you would like to be in the parade, Southeast New Mexico Transportation will pick you up.
Yes.
Take you through the parade and take you home.
They can probably get a hold of us, and we can get in touch
Yeah,
with.
either way.
Yep.
You can get
or
a
call
hold
the
of
Veterans
us
Transportation
or call
directly.
SNMA. Yeah.
Okay.
Either way.
Yeah, and I remember last year they were literally on the morning of the parade saying, "Hey, we've got a thing. We're going to. Any veterans want to get in with us and ride?" And
for
so,
sure.
so if you do have some veterans, especially like you said, that are maybe calling one of the senior assisted living places
Absolutely.
home, and we would love that. They said the Veterans
They'll pick
Transportation
you up.
Network
They'll
will
bring you
pick you
through
up.
the parade. They'll take you home.
And
Yep.
by the way, they're always looking for more volunteers.
Oh,
If there's
for sure.
folks that are looking to get involved in something in the community, they're always looking for more volunteers. Their day job, so to speak, is they transport veterans here in Roswell to their medical appointments.
Yes.
Usually the ones that are in Artesia or Albuquerque or Lubbock or El Paso or wherever they got to go. They help out with that, and that's all done by volunteers driving these vans to and from these places. And then of course I know we were talking about Roswell Ford and Crumlin earlier. I know they're a big supporter of that organization. I think they've helped out with some of the vans and things over the years, and
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
and continue to maintain them and help with all that kind of stuff. So yes, veterans that are looking for a ride in the parade,
Come join us.
they
We
would
don't
love
want
to
you to
have
feel left out.
And then if you've got some able-bodied people that are looking to make an impact, go reach out to those transportation network folks.
They really need your
They're
help.
always looking for more drivers and more people to
Yeah,
help
actually,
out.
one of our members is a driver, and he's definitely could use some help.
Yeah.
And after the parade, we're going to be partying up at the Wool Bowl. We got vendors, we got car shows, we got various things. I think the sheriff's going to park his
big
behemoth.
that riot vehicle
Yeah,
thing there.
that cool thing.
It's got tires the size of
Yeah, I think they're taller than I am.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing quite a bit up at the Wool Bowl afterwards. There may be this Operation Gratitude, I think, is going to be there.
Good.
Yep.
And hopefully these green light people will be there too.
That'd be
would
cool.
Well, and then, like some other or civic organizations, things, and of course, if you are an organization that would like to be a part of our, I guess you call after party at the Wool Bowl parking lot there,
yeah,
reach out to us.
Yep.
We do have a whole Wool Bowl parking lot, so there's plenty of room.
Right.
and
Yep.
And we'd love to have, like we got, some schools that like to help out and give stuff to veterans and things, and so
Yep.
they use that place as a conduit to do that. So.
Yeah.
And after our spot here today, we're going to be delivering charity bears to
The Roswell Police
Police
Department.
and Chavez County Sheriff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the sheriff's department go through their bears already?
Oh yeah, they only got two left. I think.
Oh wow.
Well, I think they're gone now.
Well,
but,
about a month ago, we dropped about 30 bears off there or so.
24.
Two dozen. Yeah.
So they've gone through their supply already,
Yeah.
which is good and sad.
When I
guess.
talked
Yeah.
to Harrington at Walk for Alzheimer's, which we were out there handing out water, he said they were down to 2 or 3 bears at that time. So I imagine
Okay.
they're completely out.
Okay, so time to.
Unfortunately, they're very needed.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's what I was saying. It's a mixed blessing. It's great that they're using them and getting them, but it's bad that there's a need for them.
And we just got a sponsorship for another 20 bears from Reineke Medical.
Another proud supporter of our American Legion.
They've given
they
over
do.
$700 towards the Charity Bear Project.
Yeah, we're very grateful.
That's the kind of businesses that we're very thankful for in our community.
Yeah.
$10 a sponsorship, and it is so needed. In fact, we gave some to Hagerman.
Yeah, we saw a Facebook post thanks to Mike here.
Yeah, they were in the need. I think it was the rescue, the EMS.
Yeah, one of our members lives out there, so he took home
those
with
for
him.
us.
Good.
Yeah.
Good deal. So the Charity Bears are leaving Roswell now.
They're popular, yeah.
We'd actually been interviewed by RDR, but it never showed up.
Hasn't made it in the.
Yeah,
maybe they're saving it for a Veterans Day.
Maybe that's what
piece or something like that.
I don't know. They did interview me for the Veterans Day thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
The woman from Sweden. I can't remember her name now. But
Roswell Seed? Roswell Seed? Or I heard you say Seed.
No, she's from Sweden.
Oh, Sweden. Oh, they said from Seed. And I was like, from Roswell Seed?
Yeah.
Sweden. Ah,
yes,
very
the
good.
lovely lakes.
Ah, nice.
Yep.
She gets around on snowmobiles and stuff. Anyway.
I guess.
But so let's mark it on the calendars tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, 1 to 5. First United Methodist Church. Come on down for the big Halloween carnival event. It's completely free. However, we are accepting donations if you'd like to make a donation, but under any conditions, you're not obligated to.
No.
And if you've heard the ads on there, that's actually Mike Winters that did that.
You don't.
It does sound like Sean, but it's actually Mike Winters.
I'm quite a few people on those commercials you don't realize too. I've done Barry White from time to time.
Okay.
If you hear some Fergie's ads with a deep voiced, sexy sounding dude, might be me. Just saying. Oh yeah, baby.
I think you're overplaying your game.
But yeah, we're really excited about Halloween. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that we get a good turnout so that the ladies who've been working on this for the whole year get
I don't think
some
it's
good
going to.
feedback.
I think it's going to be. We're going to have a sea of people and come have fun. Like I said, 1 p.m. It's game on, and it goes until 5.
Get there early because when we run out of candy, that's it.
I do want to thank Destiny Gutierrez over at Crumlin.
Mm-hmm.
She did that poster.
Oh, that was her handiwork?
Well, I will tell you that Larry Longo gave me a sketch that looked something like that.
Yeah.
But she turned it into gold.
Well, I was about to say that's one of the coolest posters I've ever seen.
Yeah.
As far as
Destiny
posters
did
go.
a
That's a
beautiful
cool one.
job.
And everybody questioned why I wanted it so big, but it's because
you got to.
There's so much on there, and then you had to have room for sponsors.
Yeah.
So,
So we got it in there. But so Halloween tomorrow.
Yes.
At First Night, and then November the 12th, that's Saturday after Veterans Day, will be our citywide Veterans Day celebration. 9 a.m. Chavez County Courthouse lawn. That's where everything will get underway. We'll have about
8:30 is when we're going to start lining everybody up.
Okay.
So if you're going to be in the parade, you can park in the parking lot behind the county courthouse.
Yeah, it's off of Virginia.
Or in Pioneer Plaza.
Which
we
is
will have
across
the
the street on the other
VFW
side.
sitting right there at 4th and Main.
Okay.
And they'll be pointing at you and saying, okay, you can go in now.
Okay.
So.
And then you'll just file out like an accordion as the parade starts.
Yeah, try to make it like a zipper as opposed to bumper cars.
There you go. And then the last...
it'll be a cluster. It always is.
The last coming up the street should be the Patriot Guard Riders. However, the guy that brought in he had a...
Horse and carriage?
Horse and carriage. He called me yesterday. He said he wanted to be in the parade. I said, okay.
All right.
And he says, unfortunately, the horse died. So... I'm not sure what he's bringing into the parade, but he's like, well, where do I register? I'm like, you don't have to register, folks. Just show up, okay? We're not doing registration. We're not charging money. We're not doing any of those things. It's all free.
I'm kind of worried of what's pulling that carriage now.
I don't know.
Is there gonna be some
I don't
guy?
know if it's the carriage or he's got something else going.
Okay.
But he just called me yesterday. He's like, you mind? I'm like, no,
I'd
I
love
don't
to have
mind.
you.
Of course.
Anybody can be in
We're honoring
the
veterans.
parade.
And if you want to help us do that, we'd love to have you do that. That's what we're doing. So I think that was
you
from
found the Spidey.
I think that was a.
I think that's Sean's wedding ring, right?
It could be, except it's way too small. He's got big, beefy fingers.
Oh,
no,
he does?
I think that was
Maybe
a
it's
gift
for something
from
else.
one of our Nancy Lopez students.
Oh,
when they were in the other day,
It's a little spider ring.
Yeah, and I think someone located that on the floor. So if there is a 3rd, 4th, or 5th grader from Nancy Lopez that's missing their green spider ring, we got it right here.
All right, it's in the lost and found right here.
But yes, November the 12th.
12th.
That's when everything will get underway. Like I said, 8:30 is when, if for people participating, start gathering in the parking lots, either behind or in front of the courthouse there. And then 9 a.m. sharp will be the start of the ceremony. It'll take, but we're guesstimating about 40 minutes of speeches and some great presentations.
Scheduled to appear, Tom Blake.
He's he's kind of a tradition now.
Yeah.
You can't have a Veterans Day celebration in Roswell without the beautiful music of Tom Blake
And I'm
accompanying it.
hoping Matt Miller is going to be playing his bagpipes, but
Because-
he has not confirmed with me.
All right, we'll
yet.
keep digging. Hey, if y'all see Matt out and about, say,
Poke him.
Yeah,
don't forget
get a hold
Veterans
of
Day.
Lee.
Don't forget Veterans Day, Matt.
That's right.
Even if he's coming to inspect your building or whatever for fire stuff.
Now, I
So-
heard old Larry Longo's taking credit for the parade this year because I called down there to ask Matt Miller, who was in a meeting yesterday, and the secretary says, "Oh yeah, that's Larry Longo's parade." I'm like, "Well, he is on my team after all." So,
Well, Larry does a lot of work.
He does.
I'm
He
not
got most of
complaining,
our.
He's a
but
very busy man.
I just didn't realize it was Larry's parade this year. So,
just happens.
Well, he did get most of the vendors and things up at the
I mean,
Wobo,
if anything,
so you got to
it's
give him
Kim's
credit.
parade because she's the head of the parade
Of course,
committee.
she's been a little out of pocket on some of these things in
Well,
the
not
earlier
her
stuff.
fault,
Although she seems to be doing better.
She is. Yeah, she's
This
doing
is
a lot
good.
better. Yeah, life is coming back to normal. She's back to yelling at me and all kind of stuff.
Oh,
so.
good.
That's definitely normal.
Like I said, back to normal. But please mark both dates. Come out tomorrow. Bring the whole family. Come have some fun.
Yep.
And come in costume if you want. But if you don't want to, no biggie. We're just coming out here and celebrating. I guarantee.
For the community.
I guarantee.
I like the fact that this year that a lot of people have spread out these events.
Yeah, it's kind of since it's a
they
Monday
started even
Halloween.
Thursday and
Yeah, they
some
started
people are
last
doing
night. Now we're
Sunday.
going tonight to Monday. So
Yeah, pretty cool.
yeah, it is nice. So it you know,
And I
hit
would
'em
be
all.
remiss in not mentioning that at Post 28,
They're doing one too, right?
they're doing a Halloween.
It's a Halloween dance. Yeah,
Oh,
they've got
cool.
music and
Is that on Halloween or is that
No, it's Saturday.
No, it's
Saturday night as well? So when you're done, so Saturday afternoon, come hang out with us, and then maybe cut
I
a
think
rug
they're
or two.
starting around 7 or
Okay.
something like
no,
that.
Go cut a rug
it's
or
8
two.
to midnight.
Oh, it's 8
Okay.
to midnight. Okay.
So
Yeah.
after you're done, gotten candy and everything from us, go get your dancing shoes on and a costume or two, and go.
Yes, but their event is not free, and it's 21 plus. And
They're
you have
using it
to-
as a fundraiser.
Yeah,
they
so
got to
20
replace that
bucks a
roof.
head.
So we'll come and entertain the kids, and then when you're ready for date night afterwards, because you're done with the
but
kids,
it's
go
for a
get
good
them out.
cause. They
It is.
have got to get their roof fixed. So $20 a head, and it's just like a fundraiser
Yeah.
to help that.
And they use that facility for a lot of other organizations
They do.
too.
They
it's,
do.
it's not just American Legion stuff. So it is
Oh,
a
no,
community
they
building.
have
Yeah.
concierges and all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff over there.
So yeah, come out and have a dance with them, help them out, and of course they're great partners with us in the Veterans Day Parade as
They
well.
are,
Yeah.
for sure.
And the VFW.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. VFW, and that's been kind of nice these last 2 years to have, other than the couple American Legion posts playing this, we got some VFW helping out too. And,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's great to see
I'm
that.
so happy to have the help. Believe me.
Yep, it's a good
I've been
thing.
doing it pretty much by myself for a couple years, and
The help is wonderful.
the help
Yeah,
is
nice to
very
have a
needed,
few
yeah.
other hands to come in and help.
Yep.
you. But again, yes, tomorrow 1 to 5 for Halloween at First United Methodist Church, and then November 12th, 9 a.m. Chaves County Courthouse lawn is the start of our Veterans Parade. Love to see the public at both of these events.
For sure.
If you have questions about anything we're talking about here, RoswellLegion.org, you'll have information there, or shoot a message on our American Legion Post 61 Facebook page.
Yep.
Shoot a message there. We'll be happy to get back to you on that. And of course, if you're out at the event and have a question or want to learn more about becoming a Legionnaire, an auxiliary member, or a son, we will be happy to tell you about. Or if you're out tomorrow and want to learn more about Wreaths Across America, or if you're out at Veterans Parade, there's somebody that can give you information about that.
Well,
stuff,
that
too.
and I will have information at the Halloween event too. I'll be the
Yes.
table in the front. So
You're the
when
official.
you're there, if you want to ask me, I'll
You'll be the what's the concierge service for
Yeah.
folks there at the.
be right there.
Very good. Did we get it all?
I think so.
think
for this
so.
time.
For this
And
one.
This is what we want to focus on.
Yes,
so.
yeah, that's the thing. But yes, and of course we'll talk a little heavier about Veterans Parade here in the
for
coming weeks.
sure.
So.
Yep.
Good deal. Well, thank you guys. Well,
Thanks, Mike.
Get you a little break before time to start unloading candy and building sets and all the fun stuff that.
And handing out charity bears.
There you go.
That's
And
right.
That's right. Get your bear on.
Get your
Yep.
bear on.
Could barely
Yeah,
stand it.
I like that.
All right. It is 9:54. Let me scroll down and see what we're actually going to do. Let's go ahead and yes, we'll take a quick Wall Street business update, quick break before we go.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. A measure of inflation that's closely followed by the Federal Reserve remained painfully high last month. The Commerce Department reports that prices rose 6.2% in September from 12 months earlier. That was the same year-over-year gain as in August. Earnings news. ExxonMobil broke records with $19.66 billion in profits in the third quarter, while Chevron raked in a record $11.23 billion. European Union lawmakers and member countries have reached a deal banning the sale of new gasoline and diesel-fueled cars and trucks by 2035. Well, there is no lack of speculation over the future of Twitter now that Elon Musk has purchased the social media giant for $44 billion. He's already fired the Twitter CEO, its CFO, and its chief counsel. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Hi, I'm 5th District Judge Eileen Reardon. When I put on that black robe, my thought process zooms in and focuses on the law. Nothing but the law. Just because I like you or don't, or because you're a Republican or Democrat, in this courtroom, it doesn't matter. The evidence presented and the law that the legislature passed are the only things that matter. This is hallowed ground, and I don't play favorites. I rule by the letter of the law. I'm 5th District Judge Eileen Reardon, and I'm asking for your vote November 8th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Reardon, Steve McCutcheon, Treasurer.
I'm Judge Reardon, and I approve this message.
In Matthew 19, Jesus says, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." At Country Club Road, we love kids. From the youngest to the oldest, we try to teach them about the love of Jesus and his saving grace that he offers each of them. The children are the future of our world and of our church. We want them to understand and appreciate what the love of Christ calls us to do. We want to set the example of how to share the love and grace of Christ to those around them through giving back. One way we do that is to give the children of Roswell a safe place to trick or treat. On Sunday, October 30th from 4 to 6 p.m., we will be hosting our normal trunk or treat in the church parking lot. We invite you to bring your kids and enjoy a time of fun and fellowship with us. Come meet our people and see what we're all about. We look forward to seeing your family there.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Think your vote doesn't matter? Think about this. Michelle Lujan Grisham and progressives in Santa Fe forced thousands of small family businesses to close, many to never open again. They forced our children to stay away from schools, setting their educations back by months or perhaps years. They forced you to stand in lines outside grocery stores during the coldest months of the year. They violated their own mandates while threatening to use state police to enforce their mandates on the rest of us. And Lujan Grisham and her friends did it all while New Mexico ranked last in the nation on education, last in economic opportunity, and last in public safety. Still think your vote doesn't matter? Think again. Don't make excuses like the Democrats in Santa Fe. Go vote Republican on Tuesday, November 8th. Paid for by the Republican Party of Chaves County. Not paid or authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suits or the astronauts? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:58. About a minute left here before we get kicked off the radio. Don't forget that the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico will be hosting a blood drive with Vitalant on Tuesday, November 1st. So when you load up your blood system full of sugar, expel some of it. They're going to be doing that blood drive from noon to 4 on Tuesday, November 1st. You can call 575-915-4471 to schedule an appointment. If you go to the Historical Society's Facebook page or website, you'll find a QR code you can scan there and also get an appointment as well, too. But that blood drive, again, will be happening this upcoming Tuesday, November 1st, from noon to 4 at the Historical Society there on Lee Street, there in between the archive and museum there on Lee. 200. One of the addresses is 200. I'm not sure if it's the museum or the archive, but 200 North Lee is one of those addresses. So, but yes, that's happening there. All right, that's going to do it for us. Have an amazing weekend, and thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of it. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.
Paul Pelosi, the husband of Speaker Nancy Pelosi, violently assaulted in their home in San Francisco after an assailant broke in. Details from correspondent Bernie Bennett.
Speaker Pelosi was not in San Francisco at the time, according to her spokesman, Drew Hamill. Paul Pelosi was taken to a hospital and is expected to make a full recovery. The assailant is in custody, according to Hamill. While much is not known about the attack, it's certain to raise new worries about violence targeting political figures and their families. Over the summer, a man with a pistol was arrested near Washington Democrat Pramila Jayapal's Seattle home after yelling threats at the congresswoman, who was home with her husband at the time. New York Republican Congressman Lee Zeldin was separately attacked by a man at a campaign event in New York during his gubernatorial race. Bernie Bennett reporting.
A measure of inflation that is closely monitored by the Federal Reserve remained high last month, the latest sign that prices for most goods and services in the U.S.